Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your boy Trey, my man Bishop, and we are First Formation Morning Sports Talk Radio. Bishop, what's good with you, man? What's going on?
What's going on, WGO, WGO? What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing on this great hump day? Falling. Yes, it is Wednesday. Excuse me. The 2nd of February, man. It's a great day. As you can see, it is Black History Month. You know, the shortest month of the year. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things are happening. So, Trey, what's good for you for this Wednesday, bro?
Hey man, this you're saying good. I gratefully, it's just like anything else. Always glad to be able to do this. Of course, we wouldn't have none if our Father didn't make sure ensure that we is awakened this morning. So I'm always with it. As you state, we got a lot to talk about. It's going to probably get a little a little heavy in here at one point, but what I'm saying, it is what it is. Things got to be talked about. When you're in media, it's just sometimes you gotta talk about those things that are uncomfortable amongst the most. So in any case, we plan to bring y'all the the real at the end of the day, and like I said, it's also everyone has their opinion, and we'll be able to talk about it. What's good, Freddie. Good morning, sir. How you doing? How you doing?
What up, Freddie? What up? What up? What up? What up, bro?
So, of course, I'm saying a few things before we really, really get into it. I would like to say, Bishop, I'm gracious. I greatly appreciate our defensive coordinator, D'Amico Ryans. He decided to omit interviewing for the uh, Minnesota Vikings job and
Oh,
decided
wow.
to stay put in San Francisco at least another year, or maybe until to ensure that he gets saying the right job for the most part. I mean, ultimately, it might have been a situation, and old dude, Jim Harbaugh feels that he's going to get that position anyway.
Okay.
So saying I don't know if it's pulling out because of that, or did he really feel like saying maybe he's not saying as ready he think he is, and rather and just want to say kind of continue to cut his teeth and get instituted into the coordinator and then on to coaching. So, but I
Yeah.
greatly appreciate, and I believe if you have the opportunity to move forth, you should do so, but
hmm
also have the wherewithal to know if you're not ready or if it's not the best situation for you. Don't kind of wait and wait for a second.
Yeah. Good morning, Erica. Good morning, Freddie. Good morning, Rod. Glad to see y'all. Appreciate y'all making formation, man. I appreciate y'all, man. We got some little trinkets at the end for y'all for making formation or whatever. But no, man. Yeah. That's cool, man. That he decided to stay. He probably knew he wouldn't actually be hired, but that's a win
Yeah,
for the
especially
Niners.
against Harbaugh. Like if Harbaugh's coming from, you gotta I think, take in consideration
Yeah.
if Harbaugh is coming, if leaving Michigan, and saying Harbaugh has been on record stating that he believes that he's going to get that job, so he wants the Minnesota job. He's ready to leave Michigan, University of Michigan, and come back into the NFL. And his sights are on Michigan, Minnesota, as we stated. Like they got some weapons there. I, I'd be interested to know what they'll be doing. I don't
And
know.
it's crazy. It's crazy you say that though, Erica, as well as you, Trey, and the fact that we know what's going on with Brian Flores, which we were definitely gonna get into. So yeah,
Mhm.
D'Amico Ryan, yeah, you got to think about it. Yeah, like he probably is like, ugh. I
Yeah.
mean,
Now the
they already
position.
interviewed. Oh,
The
go ahead.
position might have been his, or like I said, Brian Flores. But I mean, Harbaugh as Brian Flores is Harbaugh. His years as a coach in the NFL, he was successful. He
Right,
went on.
and
He
at
went
the
to Michigan.
49ers.
Yeah, he
Right.
went to Michigan. He
Yeah,
finally slayed the dragon in Ohio State. Saying took care
finally.
of business
Yeah.
there. The during that
What
time
up,
frame
Zach?
there, they went to at least one CFP champion. Series
You're right.
playoff series. So
Right.
saying I don't know if that's a reason just to justify that he probably would have been a highly more qualified candidate as opposed to D'Amico Ryans, who's been the coordinator for a year or two, and then
hmm
Flores, who was a coordinator and head coach for 3 years. Two in which he made the play. Well, he didn't make the playoffs, where he had a winning season. So, I mean, in some instances, it's just a situation where sometimes that it seems like those are the more qualified individuals, but in other times, you got to take a look at like if we're neck and neck, or if I'm up against a coordinator and I'm a head coach, I have head coaching experience. then
Right.
it's almost like applying for a government job. If you've been in the military, you get a certain amount of points that puts you ahead of other candidates. But I mean,
Hmm.
like I said, we're definitely going to talk about it. But yeah, what do you think about Harbaugh coming back to the NFL? Should
Well,
the
now that
NFC be quickening the boots?
well now this is the thing, right? So excuse me. I know you asked me about that on Monday, I believe, and I
Hmm.
said, well, it's too early to find out. But
Yeah.
now with all the the uproar about it, and it sounds like Harbaugh is actually going to take the job. I feel like the question now at hand, excuse me, the question now at hand is, can he, excuse me, can he translate back over to NFL style coaching? You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Because it's a different style of coaching when you coach in college football and coaching NFL players.
Hmm.
So I think that's going to be the question at hand. Do I think he's capable of doing it? Of course, because he did it. He was very successful at San Francisco.
Hmm.
Um, and so forth and so on. And they when they fired him, they were 8-8 that year. It wasn't
Hmm.
like they had a losing season; they were 8-8. So they were 500. Well, yet they still decided to let him go, and that's when he went to Michigan, and he had some success. Except for the most part, he couldn't beat Ohio State, but he finally
Uh-huh.
slayed that dragon
Uh-huh.
this past season. So that's done. Excuse me. So with that being said, hold on, let me drink some water. Excuse me. I can't clear my throat. So with that be good lord. So with that being said, yeah, I think hopefully he can get it to translate again. Hopefully he can get back to the hardball or a better hardball
No, we
and
don't need him
get
to
it
get
work.
back to
Well, a better
he in
hardball.
he in the same
Oh, of
conferences now.
course you. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course you don't. Of
we don't
course you
need that.
don't. Yeah, yeah. Of
We
course
don't
you
need
don't
that.
want that. But yeah, hopefully it'll be a better hardball for than old and come back and take the Minnesota Vikings. I mean, I think that's a great organization which he's going to. I don't know what his plans
What's going
are.
on, Dante?
What up, little bruh? I don't know what his plans are in regards to the quarterback position because of
Mm, I'm
that's the
you
biggest thing
know,
right
I've
there.
I've started to think, and I know we're supposed to cover it little on later, but
Hmm.
I started to think Jimmy G is going to be a hot commodity, bro.
Mm,
Like I even should have thought
mm,
about Jimmy G into Tampa Bay. Like I think Jimmy G is going to be. I think it's something that's coming along. Jimmy G is probably going to be a hot commodity for somebody.
ooh.
I don't know. I mean, it hasn't been said that they're looking to move on for Cousins, but I mean, if you have a Garoppolo that's out there. Bridgewater, I'm very sure he's not going back to Minnesota. But
No,
I look at
and
when I
Aaron
was looking, I was like,
Rodgers,
Jimmy G might be a commodity that someone's going to be like clamoring for. Like,
right?
so it's interesting, definitely.
It is. That is definitely interesting for Jimmy to maybe possibly go over there to where Harbaugh
Ooh,
is.
those
Yeah,
weapons,
that could
man. Oh,
and the weapons he
a
has. Yeah,
hellacious run game, not
and
just not by committee, like a
but
bell cow
yeah, like
in Dalvin
yeah,
Cook.
Dalvin. Yeah, he's probably one of the. He's definitely in the top five in running backs in the NFL without question, especially when he's healthy.
Yes,
He's that dude. He is that dude. So yeah,
one man's trash, another man's
man's
treasure.
treasure. Yeah, you know what they say. You know what they say. So yeah, so we definitely gonna see, man. I think the Vikings owe Cousins a lot of money still.
Yeah, he got to carry. He did sign an
Yeah.
$88 million 4 year guaranteed deal.
Mm, and then we never know. Harbaugh might go in there and be able to work with
Get
Cousins
some out
and
of him. Yeah,
yeah, and get some things out of him because
it's
Cousins
another
ain't
year. You add more. You add
yeah
more
Cousins ain't a
talent.
bad quarterback, bro. To be honest
Yeah.
with you, Cousins ain't bad. He's not a bad quarterback at all. Um, I just we just got to see when if Harbaugh gets the job, which I'm thinking 9 times out of 10 he's gonna get it, in
Hmm.
my personal opinion. Um, but we just got to see. Mhm.
Hmm. So of course, if you don't live under a rock or if you pay attention to NFL uh, news, yesterday, about not too long after we got off the show, I believe Brian Flores, former coach of the Miami Dolphins, um, decided to sue the NFL along with three other teams that's named through it. But of course, all teams are named in the suit, a class action lawsuit against the NFL and the Dolphins, the Giants, as well as the Broncos, stating that they have discriminatory and racist practices when it comes to hiring head coaches and general managers. When you heard this, and of course, we're gonna get into it in depth because there's about 3 or 4 different instances in which he's alleging that these institutions have done in reference to stopping him from being getting a fair chance. But saying on the surface, Bishop, what do you think about this suit?
I think it's well overdue, bro.
Mm,
I really think it's well overdue. That's something that definitely that should happen. Um, I think I guess my only thing is though, I guess he's not necessarily doing it for himself. I
and that
guess
was
he's
my next thing. Okay, yeah, go ahead.
because
Let's
he
go.
was a
Yeah.
coach. You
Hmm.
know, he was a coach for the Miami Dolphins for what, 2 seasons?
Yeah, 3 seasons. Three
Three
seasons.
seasons. Okay, 3 seasons. So he was the coach. He was the coach for the Miami Dolphins. So I mean, it's kind of they are not on notice. Stop being discriminating. Right, but I guess my thing is like Erica and Trey. How can you really say that? Except for the fact, like I just stated, he's doing it for other, coaches and not necessarily just for himself because he was a coach for the Miami Dolphins for
Hmm.
3 seasons. So how can you really? But he's my bad. My bad. This lawsuit is against the Giants, the Denver Broncos, and the Miami Dolphins.
As
So
well as the NFL.
and
So
the NFL.
everyone's yeah. So all three
Right.
32 when he named the NFL, all 32 teams are on the docket for that discrimination. And
Mhm.
then of course he comes back and double back and put the other three specifically in it. So of course if a lawyer, I mean, or a judge is able to to eliminate the NFL as saying a party in this, then he still has those 3 teams that are still able to be said okay specifically for this reason.
Right.
So saying it's like there the 32 teams is a catch-all, but we have to keep in mind the NFL is an office, and saying they do work for the ownership. So
Of the
um,
league.
yeah,
Right.
of the league. So saying that's for the most part. But he's of course just like I don't know if anyone's been. I mean, I haven't been sued either. But if anyone's been sued, you realize sometimes you just be a person that's there. You was in the accident. You might have been in the accident, and you might have got hit. But of course, they put you the in there as well, and it's up to the judge to basically eliminate you from the case if they feel that there's nothing in which you are liable for or have anything with the wrongdoing. So but back to what you're saying, Bishop. I think I get what you're saying. Is like he was a coach, so he was a coach at one point,
Right.
and him being a coach at that point, that means possibly he wasn't discriminated against at that point. But
Right.
as we, saying as we get a little deeper into it, then maybe it's the rhetoric starts to change. But of course, I get what you're saying. For the most part, black coaches have been hired at this point. There's only one black coach in the league that is 70% of individuals that look like them, which is African American. 38% are I think defensive coordinators. 17% are offensive coordinators, and I think 10% are. Did y'all hear more like the news saying that coaches want to pay him? Yes, and Gloria, we're gonna definitely get into that.
That's my
That's
mom.
on. Yes. How you doing, Miss Gloria? So yes, it's
Yeah.
we're gonna get into it as well. With what you talked about, how the head coach, not head coach, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, Mr. Ross, basically put aside a slush fund for about $1.6 million, in which he would have paid Flores to lose the game. So he's gonna get paid every game that they lose. That he was gonna get paid a hundred thousand
There it
dollars
is right there.
for
Yeah,
losing the
there it is.
game.
Alleges Dolphins owner Stephen Ross
Hmm.
incentivized tanking in 2019. So we're talking 2 years ago, 3 years ago, by offering Flores $1,000 per loss.
Yeah. So the
What's
hundred
up, Mama?
thousand
How you
dollars.
doing? That's
So,
crazy.
so $100,000, which he basically wanted to tank. And of course, what you had in that situation is that's that's not how you do things. You know what I'm saying? I understand. No,
So
we
that
had
goes back to something too, though.
what's up? What's up?
What
What's
does
up?
that go back to listening to that, Trey? In that statement in regards to Stephen Ross? Doesn't that not go back to the conspiracy theory in which we talked about a few
Yeah,
days ago?
conspiracies. Yeah.
The
So it's definitely like
conspiracy
we definitely
theory
without a doubt like their
goes
own little
comes into play.
Illuminati.
Right.
Like,
It
so it's
comes
like
into
it goes
play.
back to exactly like honestly, saying, with this coming to light, in which we are, it's all a situation in which we all stated that we all figured that this is something that's out there. Like we without reasonable doubt believe that there's workings going on in the back. Saying, in the back of what's basically being talked about. Whether we get one thing, but saying, especially those with money who was caked
Mhm.
up. Saying, we talk
Mhm.
about a billionaire, like teams. He's a billionaire at the end of the day, and
Mhm.
so amongst his fraternity of billionaires, I'm very sure things get discussed. To bring
Right.
up what we talk about, the Trumps and the Epsteins, and how supposedly they had the little thing going on with this, saying, with the wronging of females and women and stuff like that, and different. So saying, obviously stuff goes on in the back rooms, and this is a situation in which they see sensibly talking about this. So yeah, we wanted to pay $100,000 for them to tank so they could be able to pick up a better draft pick at the end of the year, in
Mhm.
which obviously Brian Flores decided not to, because three of the two of the 3 years in which he was there, and he was down. Like, y'all got to remember, they was doing bad. They was down bad, and he
Right.
basically, saying, his second year they went 10-6. Last year they've won 8 of the 9 final games in which they had. I think they started out 0-7 or 1-6 or something like that, and he won. That was on the cusp of going to the playoffs. Where potentially could have made noise, definitely would have been a problem. Saying, or a team that someone didn't want to play if they would have made it, but obviously, and Mitch, which formed some type of distrust, because initially what was also in the suit is the same owner, Stephen Ross, wanted him to basically um,
What's up, Key?
wanted him to perform
Tampering.
tampering. Yeah, wanted to
Mhm.
tamper
Mhm.
by trying to coerce, get with Tom Brady, and get Tom Brady to come to play in Miami, by basically having him reach out. Well, of course, saying, if you're what happens is, you have a certain period in which you can talk to players in reference to becoming playing for your team. This was before that that time frame. And so
Mhm.
there was Mr. Ross wanted Mr. Flores, Coach Flores, to get ahead of that and kind of utilize the fact that he was with him in New England, and contact him to have him come out. So as a coach, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. So right before that period, Mr. Ross invited Coach Flores to a dinner on his yacht, a lunch on his yacht. And upon Flores arriving there, he informed them that, hey, Brady's going to be here too. So it's like, at that point, Coach Flores is like, I can't be here. We're not doing this. And so seemingly, what it seems like is there started to be a disconnect between the owner and the coach, and it seems like what has happened is he wasn't down with the team, obviously, and they decided to let him go at the end of the year. Especially when you look at what the same situation, like they was down 0-7, and you coached them back to a winning record, uh and a lower seed. And not to mention, like, they have the 49ers seed, but of course the 49ers are 29. That seed is 29th. Correction, the 29th pick. So it's like, what they have, how many? I don't know if you're checking it. How many picks do they have in their first round? And where are they, Bishop?
Who the
Miami
Dolphins?
Dolphins. Yeah,
I think they had. Let me look.
I know
Hold
they
on.
got the 29 pick that they got from the
Yeah,
49ers for the
but
trade.
I want to say they got an earlier pick too. I want to say. I
Is it
want to say they
what,
had a.
mid level? Probably the
Yeah,
mid.
I want to say they had an early pick too. Hold on.
Oh, really?
I want to say they did. Hold on. Let me look. Oops.
So of course you have a situation, as we stated, where, as Bishop looks at up, the where now these teams, I mean, now it's like it's starting to be a little disdain, in which was stated that there was a definite disdain after that, and after the second season when he coached into a winning record, that started to be
Mhm.
a bit disdain, and now here we are where he was released as head coach, which is a surprise, especially when he did what you're supposed to do, and that's win games.
Facts. That's straight facts. That's straight facts, and it's crazy, man, because you know it's kind of somewhat of a backlash in which he's receiving. Well, I don't want to say backlash, but a lot of my brother said up there earlier, he
Hmm.
sacrificed himself to do this, to to go forth, excuse me, with this lawsuit against the NFL in hopes that things pan out for him. I'm waiting to
Yeah,
see
because
like
technically he
there's
shouldn't be hired by nobody while he has this.
lawsuit going on. They're not gonna hire him. That's definitely
Yeah,
jeopardizing him
yeah.
for getting any job from here forth.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost putting him in the same categories that gentleman behind
Colin
my
Kaepernick.
on my right shoulder, yeah, Colin Kaepernick. So with that, it's just a lot. So hold on, let me see. So they have, man, golly, let me see. Oh, there it is, right there. One, there we go. That's one. One. Gonna find itself like Kaepernick being blackballed and not be able to coach ever again in the NFL. That's what's gonna happen, which would be a bad, horrible thing for him not to be able to coach again in the NFL because of the unfairness of the NFL for not hiring minorities within the and that again, all that goes back to again what we saying in regards to ownership. If we had more black or African American owners, we probably wouldn't have this issue at all. But the fact of the matter that we don't have any black African American. Oh, they got the 16th pick.
So 16th and 29th.
Oh no. I'm sorry. They had it. We got the 16th pick from them. That's right.
Okay.
We got the 16th pick. I'm sorry. We got the 16th pick from them. Hold on. I looked at that wrong. Uh, ooh, they might. Hold on. You might be right because I'm on the 23rd and I still don't see them.
So they just
So
have the
they may
29th pick.
have.
Oh,
Probably
so
so.
that's
Looks
that's
like it because I'm
that's
on.
so they got back into the first round when
Yeah, they got.
they traded to with the
Yeah, but
49ers trading for that chick.
yep. They
Okay.
they got the 29th pick. Yep. Yeah, it's
So,
a little. Yeah, they got the 29th pick. So it is so unfair and unfortunate. But again, like I said, when it's all said and done, if we can get black owners, and speaking of which, well, I'm glad we're talking about black owners because check this out.
mm-hmm.
I'm about to show y'all something. Y'all check this out. Did y'all see this?
Oh yes.
The Broncos went for sale yesterday afternoon with a net worth of $4 billion. I plead with you, African American entrepreneurs, with the money that have the money to be able to do this, go and purchase or try your best because I know it's going to be a feat to make it happen. It's going to
Yeah.
take an act of Congress to make it happen, but the Broncos are for sale. But it's crazy to say the Broncos are for sale, Trey, and the Broncos is one of the teams that's in the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm. So what? So
So would
the
so would an
reason the
African
Broncos are in
American
the,
really would they even be able to would the Broncos even get a black owner being that they're in the lawsuit?
so the reason for the Broncos being in the lawsuit, if y'all don't know, is during the 2019 uh, coaching carousel, as we'll call it. During the 2019 coaching carousel, the Broncos did interview Brian Flores for a head coaching position, in which he was not selected. So what Brian Flores stated is that during his interview, he's like all the people at hand were all late to the interview. First and foremost, I think he said an hour late, and in that case, in during that situation, when they got there, he said you could tell they all was a little bit intoxicated or hung over a little bit. So they did go through the interview process per the rebuttal
Appreciate you,
back from
Erica.
the Denver Broncos. Per the rebuttal back from the Denver Broncos, they did state that they had the interview did take about 3 or 4 hours. They had a plethora of knowledge and notes and everything in correlation to it. What ended up happening is they did end up hiring Vic Fangio, in which the Broncos released fired this season after they finished the season. So it's another situation of where uh, Brian Flores ended up going to coach the Miami Dolphins after interviewing for the Denver Broncos, and the coach in which they selected before he went to the Broncos. Before he went to the Dolphins has been fired. But I mean, in essence, the same year, Brian Flores was fired as well.
And not only
So
that, that's just crazy because of the fact that it's something close to similar to what happened with him in the Giants. So the reason the whole thing on why a lot of this got started is because Brian Flores received a text message from Bill Belichick stating that congratulating him for getting the Giants job. Well, what Bill didn't know was,
or
or yeah,
realize
what Bill didn't pay attention to was who he was texting. So Brian, what's his name?
find the ball.
Brian DeBall was the one that got the Giants head coach position. But when Bill texted Brian Flores, he thought he was texting
Talking
Brian
with Brian.
DeBall. But when he texts Brian Flores, this was and congratulating him on getting the job at the Giants. Brian Flores hadn't even interviewed yet. He hadn't even made it to that was like a few days before he was going
4 days.
4 days before he even interviewed for the job for the Giants. So for Bill to already congratulate Brian DeBall, it's like all the Giants were doing was checking the block in regards to the Rooney Rule. That's all
So
they were doing.
the Rooney Rule for again,
I got
if
it for
you
you too.
okay,
I got it for
okay,
you,
go
dude. So
go
you
ahead, go
can
ahead.
read it, Trey. I got it for you. Um, I sure do. I got it for you. Where is it at? This is right here.
We gonna get to your question in a few your statement in a few minutes, Dante. Just give us a second. We'll get to you. We ain't gonna leave forget
Mhm.
about you.
Can you read that, Trey? Or can you see that?
I
If
can
y'all
see it,
can't
but
see it, it's
let
blurry.
me see.
I can read it for y'all. So this is the the Rooney Rule. In recent years, the Workplace Diversity Committee has proposed additional changes to strengthen the Rooney Rule, including clubs. Mind you, what I just said. Take in mind the first what I just talked to y'all about. This is the first thing they says. Clubs must interview at least two diverse candidates from the career development advisory panel list or a diverse candidate not currently employed by the club. Clubs must conduct an in-person interview with at least one external minority candidate from any GM or head coaching interview. Club must continue to consider multiple diverse candidates. Club must maintain complete records and provide them to the league upon the commissioner's request. If the final decision maker is involved from the beginning of the hiring process, they must be involved through the conclusion of the process. So I see where he's saying the Rooney Rule is a joke. I totally agree with you. In a way, I feel like it is. So why is it that black coaches have such a small margin of error for that part? The Rooney Rule is again is a way to say, oh, we're not prejudiced. Oh, we're not this. And I wonder, Trey. My question to you is: does the Rooney Rule? Um, I guess the Rooney Rule is not adherent to owners because it doesn't say anything about owners. It just says general managers and coaches.
Yeah, it's
Don't
not.
say
Yeah,
nothing
it's
about owners.
yeah. So
Owners.
I think when you talk about owners, a little bit different of a conversation. But for the sake of the argument, the it definitely does specifically speak to that of head coaches, OCs, or
Good
GMs
old
in higher
boys. That's it.
positions in the higher position. So what has been, and which of course we know that's what's probably been going on. It has been a lot of block checking into a simple fact of the matter. Not to saying that none of these individual candidates are or are not um, of qualified. It just becomes one of those things where so it's interesting. It's very interesting, right? In my opinion,
Mhm,
as I sit up and
mhm.
listen and think of this. So what we're talking about is we're having a discussion for the most part about if how supposedly owners who are predominantly who are all Caucasian, majority owners are all Caucasian, and how we're talking about how they're hiring them on, but yet in the same breath we say that we need African American owners so they can do the same thing. So where I lie at, where I sit up and hear the situation, we'll talk about. There's one thing to sit up and stand up and talk about this, but are we asking for equality or what? You know what I'm saying? What is the difference? So it comes down to the same thing as like other in which we get back right in the same thing is they're trying to switch it. So my idea, of course, I mean, when I look at it, is we want to have black people or people of color that are in these positions. Uh, Truth be told, there was two African American GMs recently hired for both the teams in which we're talking about at this point. Well, no,
Hmm.
for Minnesota and for New York. The New York Giants just hired an African American
General
GM.
manager. Hmm.
Uh-huh. And then the Minnesota Vikings have just hired an African American GM. So it's stuff going on, but I mean, so now there's a conversation that had come that they're pacifying to basically stop or eliminate, or are they, or is the mindset potentially that they're doing this in order to basically say, okay, they're probably going to fail anyway, so we'll go ahead and give them an opportunity so that we can they can't say, are these individuals being hired for those particular reasons because they feel they're the most qualified for their organization. Brian Flores himself, he's been on a plethora of shows this morning. He was on First Take just a few minutes before we got
And he was
on.
on and on Get Up, and
And
on
on
the
Get Up,
and he
yeah,
was
that's what I
on
mean, on Get Up, yeah,
he was on Get Up, and uh he was on a the morning show or some morning show. He was on, not just sports show. He was on a morning
yeah.
show this morning
Uh,
too.
so you know, what I'm saying, so so he's been, and then he stated, I know he stated on Get Up is he's not saying he believes strongly that you should be hired, and even last night, Louis Riddick stated the same thing. We're not, there's not this isn't a conversation which you're trying to make, saying that you should hire because you feel sorry and
Hmm.
for an African American. They're saying that they want to be, if you feel that
They
we're a
want it fair
candidate,
across the board.
yeah,
They just want fairness.
if you feel that we're candidates and we're
Qualified.
qualified, then hire us, not because, you know what I'm saying. So
You
and
trying to
then,
check the block.
yeah, instead of trying to check the block. So that brings back, are these individuals like, it's very subjective, or possibly maybe different, as opposed when you look at the situation with Brian DeBall as he's been hired prior to Mike Flores being interviewed. It's very, you know what I'm saying, now there's an argument there. But for other positions, like there's still currently five coaching positions that are out there. The Minnesota Vikings, the Las Vegas Raiders. No, correction, the Las
The
Vegas
Raiders
Raiders is
got
out
out,
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
they got their
the
fillers.
Minnesota Vikings, the New York, not the New York Giants, the Minnesota Vikings, the New Orleans Saints.
Saints,
Who else was it? The um, Houston Texans.
Texans, yeah.
And who are the other two? Freak, I forget. But there's still five. I find out, but there's still five coaching jobs that are out. Oh, Miami Dolphins, and there's one more. So those jobs are still out there, in which there are probably top candidates, African American or person of color, that are out there that have the opportunity to get hired. So. I mean, it still remains to be seen for, and the Jaguars. Appreciate it, Keith. Thank you, and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Jacks, yeah, because of Urban Meyer being
Urban
fired.
Meyer got fired. Yeah, so those positions are still out there. So I mean, for all we know, all African American coaches could be hired for those positions. Well, we know one isn't probably going to be, but so at yeah, Minnesota probably is going to be Jim Harbaugh. But at the end of
Pretty,
the
yeah.
day, those other four positions could be head coaches. But then that brings back the question: is it because now people trying to get out of hot water, or are they being hired for specifically because they were the most qualified at this point? So. I mean, it all is, it's gonna come out in the wash, as they say, as we go forth.
Hmm.
Definitely, this is a situation with Brian Forrest has come forth and put this out there. Like you said, some of the what they're asking for is that there be of course a change to the Rooney Rule. What that change could be, we don't know, because they thought the Rooney Rule was going to work initially to give it, in which it hasn't. If you look at over the course of the over since the Rooney Rule has been in place, what they're
Hmm.
also asking for. Uh, Different ways and how they can sit up and get to where they can level the playing field for people of color or African Americans, specifically, to be able to be in these positions, as opposed to the small digits and percentages to which we have currently now, especially when the organization is on is basically being floated on the backs of over 70% African American players.
Right. They should have NFL Player Association reps sitting in making sure it's fair.
So that brings up a conflict, Taylor, because if they're in there listening to what's going on, then they can sit up. Then when they go back to their constituents to talk to the players, then they have a first hand. So I mean, there has to be, for the most part, there has to be a bit of uh
Separation.
contrast, yeah, separation, so that way they do their thing. Because if saying that is like basically saying that a representative from the owners should be sitting in the NFLPA meetings as well, in which that doesn't work at the
Fact.
end of the day. But not to say it's not a good
No.
idea, it just doesn't work, I guess, in at the end state. Think about so Taylor, think about and Bishop, you've been a part of it as well.
What up,
Think
Frank?
about think about if we was if you basically had other dining facilities sitting in on your plans for the call for
Hearing
the
all your plans of what
for the
you plan
Conley
on
for the
doing.
Conley, yeah, or for a
Yep.
Thanksgiving meal.
Yep.
So you got they
And
so
y'all
that
know it's a competition. You
yeah,
know
it's a
the
competition. Yeah,
best defect for
yeah. So
Conley, best defect for Thanksgiving meal,
yeah, so
best
you don't want
defect for
that.
this. Yeah, you don't want to let certain things you can't let
Think about it.
the
You'll say
players
think about it.
the
I
players
know
association
Strack,
know.
you was at Freeman when we come time to start our culinary show, our culinary skills. What we do, we went to the back room, brown bag the whole back window, you know what I'm saying, put everything back there, so
Absolutely
and lock the door and make sure people don't come back there to see what you're working on, not even the own people that work in your facility.
right.
So you know what I'm saying, you just got to keep that separation.
You're absolutely right, little brother. That would give the players too much leverage.
Exactly,
Absolute
hence the
facts.
reason why they can't. Yeah, you got to have the separation. I agree.
Absolutely, you have to separate. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
So
I don't know. How do you, in your opinion, Trey? How do you see in this? How do you see this lawsuit panning out?
I feel that there's going to honestly, I feel there's going to be more checking the block, or there's going to be more. Is you know saying everything's have a loophole for the most part. So I
And you can
foresee.
all you got to do is find it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it's going to be something where a loophole can be found to
But
get
this Rooney
circumvent.
Rule, Trey, has been in effect since 2003.
Yeah, but when you look at it, it hasn't like black coaches and GMs are getting hired, OCs and all that type of stuff are getting hired, but it basically comes down to excuse me
Mm, that could help. You're right, little bro.
mediation. So
I
you're
can
right,
see that.
Dante.
I
You're
can see
right,
that.
Dante. But I would think the mediation will help after the two sides have talked about it, and now they're coming together to talk
That's
about
my
what
whole
they talk
part.
about.
My whole point, Taylor. That's my whole point. I feel like if we don't get black owners or minority owners, African American owners,
So y'all really think that? Y'all believe that?
I do. I do. Someone with no ties to the NFL, so a person who has nothing to gain, basically. I feel you. So that proves it's not effective. There needs to be a culture shift.
So
I agree with
okay,
you, Taylor. And that's what I've been saying the whole time, Erica. I feel like if we got black owners within the NFL, it will make for change. Now, don't get me
so,
wrong. I
okay.
kind of feel like where I kind of see where Trey might be going because
Yeah,
just because we
it's like
get black owners
we
don't
just had
mean
a
we're gonna
black
get
president.
it
Like
right. Just because we get black
his
owners
job
don't
is
mean
to
we gonna
do the president. My
right.
job is to be an owner. So
Right, but
that means
and you're
me
not
being an
gonna
owner.
necessarily
Exactly. That's what it comes
yeah,
out. You know what I'm saying? And
I
but you
get
don't
that.
what you wouldn't want to be ridiculed as because let's no, I'm not going to even go there. But so let's keep it. You know, say let's keep a stack. Like just because I go and hire someone that looks like me doesn't mean that the person that doesn't look like me wouldn't be better suited for my
Facts.
organization.
Absolutely.
So you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
So that's
But
what you know. What I'm
let
saying
me ask you this though, Trey. Hold
yes.
up. Don't forget that thought, what you're about
Okay.
to say. But even I got what you're saying. But in some aspect, would you not at least look at the diverse people first to see if they qualify? Would you least because of your authenticity? Would you at least do that? Because that's what at least we can ask. Because I get where you're going. I understand. Just because you're a black owner doesn't mean you're gonna find a black coach or a black GM who is
Mhm.
qualified for that job. I got it. I got it. But can you at least say you, Trey, as a black owner, you at least give us the benefit of the doubt and at least look at us first?
I'm going to look at who I feel is like if
Ah,
I'm going to look at like I really am. I'm going to look at who I feel is most qualified. Like of course you're going to look at your own. I would be blind if I didn't say I didn't
okay.
look at my own. but you know what I'm saying, is sometimes it's that's just not hidden. And, you know what I'm saying, vice versa. That might not. So let's think about it. That's like a couple of things. Keep it 100. When we talk about shooters, what is the first thing we say usually when it comes to a shooter, as opposed to a basketball player? Shooters. What's the first thing that comes when you talk about color? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
What do you mean shooters in regards to what?
3-point shooters.
What's the first thing that come to mind?
Yeah, not
What?
before Steph. Before Steph.
Yeah, white guys.
A white guy. Your man is on the court. You thinking, okay, he's a white guy. What's the first thing you think comes to mind when you talk about a black guy, though?
Dunking,
Exactly.
high
So you'll
flyer.
say, so that you'll say that's what we have. That's how you're saying things have basically becomes. That's what we have been set up and thought. Now we have Steph Curry, who's the most prolific shooter in the NBA, with potentially whatever. Hold up, Jordan. You make too many shades lighter than me as it is anyway. See, I, I'll let you. I'll let you know. Like you make too many shades. You've been on the show. Like everyone see what your actual color is. You make too many shades lighter than me as is.
Oh, that's funny, bro. That's funny. Jordan said he thinking light skin. But anywho, go ahead and finish
But
straight.
yes, so you know what? If we was in on the show, I'll tell you exactly the word I wish I was using for you. You like, and I don't care if it's Black History,
that
but
was a good one, Jordan. That was
but
a good one.
so basically, when you go back to it, you know, what I'm saying, so please believe I'm not. I don't want to sound like I'm not an individual who doesn't put on for, you know, saying my African American race or anything like that. I just have a different way of looking at things, and you know, what I'm saying, and I look at it as if we want to call it. Sometimes it isn't fair. I ain't gonna say I pick and choose, but I look at points where okay, we stand on the desk for certain things, but then we gotta look at the same thing. Like we stand on the desk for the same thing which we're trying to sit up and eliminate. Like, you know what I'm saying? So at what point the conversation would be we want to be fairly and want to be in the room and want to be have fair opportunity to sit up and be a part of the room at the end of the day, not because Rainbow Coalition actions and all that initiatives and all that type of stuff. At the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Y'all see my last name is Amir. A
Of course,
Muslim.
that's
Like
not.
my
Yeah.
yeah,
We know that. Yeah,
my
we
father
know.
is Muslim. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though, you know what I'm saying, yeah, I may have funny color eyes because my eyes change colors. We know that ain't come from black heritage. So I mean, I get it. I understand. You know what I'm saying? That's way back along the lines of which it's probably
And we
another
we talking about
conversation.
this because it's Black History Month.
Yeah,
So
it's Black
hey,
History.
take it what it
So
is. This is what it
you know,
is.
so it comes back, you know what I'm saying, it goes back to sometimes to where it was some crossing across or maybe some crossing that wasn't consensual. But you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, but I don't lose track of the fact. Like I am when I start speaking and like at the point in which I start speaking on something, there's an issue because I'm very selective and you know what I'm saying, I'm very strategic in how I move in that case. So but back to Bishop's question, I would. I just don't know if I would specifically base that upon I'm finna select you because we look like in, you know what I'm saying, because it's business. We're talking about business for the most part. And if I can bring someone to my into the business that helps, like for the most part, no, I'm not gonna even say that either. If you
No,
could bring
say it.
no, I'm not
You
saying
say
that.
no, 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 no.
So, you know what I'm saying, it's just one of those things, like it's disheartening that the percentage of the
Facts.
percentage is, you know, what the percentage is, but at the end of the day, the percent outside of the head coach percentages are growing. Like I say, 10% are GMs, which it could be more, but it's no different from having positions on the Supreme Court. It's only a certain amount. It's only 32 teams. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a revolving door. If you ain't getting the job done, then they go trying to find the next candidate. You might be a good candidate, but you just not have been on you might not have been on the right team. Sometimes you have to become better at what you're doing, and you have to basically be in the position like an OJT, like we used to do all the time. You got an OJT. I may not be the best person for meats, but I might consider up a represent for for short order. So, so, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, when we had those positions, is that's just it.
I mean, it's
What are
just
you?
like
Are you
I mean,
hired? Are you hired?
oh, I'm definitely looking at us first.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm owner, I'm definitely looking at us first without question. I'm definitely looking at us first. As an owner, I feel like, especially being in an owner's position, I feel like you look at seeing once you become an owner, I feel like you look at it as okay. I'm about to become an owner of the Denver Broncos because we know the Denver Broncos are up for sale for 4 billion, or they are worth $4 billion. So, excuse me. So going into that position, I'm already thinking in my head, okay, I'm finna buy the Denver Broncos. They don't have a coach,
Mm-hmm.
or we're looking for a coach. This is who I need to. I'm already thinking in my mind. Already, all right, I got the money to do it. I'm already strategizing to try and find the best coach to fit the position. Now, when I do that, I'm going to look first to people that look like me. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to look at people first that have, excuse me, when I look for those people, I'm going to look for people who fit the credentials, who has the experience, who has the success at that position, and go there forward. Now, does that mean everybody I look at is going to look like me? No, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to look at everybody, but I'm going to look at us first. So if I have five coaches, two of them is probably going to be two to three of them are probably going to be African American, and two probably African American, one not of African American descent, and then maybe a couple of Caucasian, um, or so forth or so on. But I am still gonna pick the best individual for the job. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we are so still. I mean, we've had a black president. We've had
Mm-hmm.
a black president, yet and still we don't
We
have
have
a
a
black.
black vice president at this point.
Yeah, we have a black vice president. We have NFL. Yeah, a female black vice president at that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have NBA. We have owners in the NBA, but we don't have in black. We have black owners in the NBA, or minority owners in the NBA, but we don't have any in the NFL. To this day, in NFL is older than I
We have a
believe than the
minority.
NBA
We have a minority uh, owner.
owner in the NFL.
Yeah, this the Williams sisters, minority owners for the Dolphins.
They co-owners, right? They're not full owners. They
Yeah,
got a
they're
percentage.
my yeah. That's why I say they're my. That's why I
Yeah,
specify majority.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
percentage,
because the
but
majority makes it cause shots.
right. But it's very difficult to look at your own, and if they're not successful due to the fact that they don't have the background.
So
I
to
get
so
what
what
you're
you
saying with that too, Jordan. As a rebuttal to Trey, isn't that what they are doing now, giving it
so
to
true,
one of the good old
Dante.
boys?
That is true, Dante. But and that's what I'm saying. Like at some point, there has to be someone that has to stop it. Saying strip it down, break it down, and then re-engage. If there's a situation, in my
So, in
opinion,
other
this is
words,
my
don't
opinion.
do a tit for tat.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
what,
tit for
what
tat because we ain't getting nowhere. At that point, we was like, there's nothing to get at. There has to be a breakdown process, and then from that breakdown process, that's what the person that becomes a martyr for. They have to sit up and take the L, and then hopefully from them taking that L, it becomes a situation to where now we're able to build something upon that. Because they're
Mhm.
over there doing it doesn't mean we're over there doing it. Because if we got to do it now, we're already been the person. In my opinion, we already been the ones that have been subjugated to the negative side of this. Now, if we're over there doing it, they're going to that gives a mask to now say that you was over there doing it because as we
Mhm.
all know, it's always the last person that does it that gets caught. So you know what I'm saying? Now it's like this is the point we fall
The
in. So that's why I
retaliate
look at
person.
you
Yeah.
can't we can't be in a retaliative state. We have to be in a state in which okay, we took the L, we've been taking the L, you know, say now it's the time. Like we have this voice. Brian Flores has became the voice for this. Colin Kaepernick was the voice for it a couple of years ago. Now it's a situation. George Floyd became the voice of it. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying, which is you know what I'm saying it has enacted a situation to now we have to go forth, and this is how we have to create the change. We all know it's going to be hard. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a season. It's probably not going to happen in the next 5 seasons. But it's something to build upon now. And but we can't do it if we do as they do. It's not going to work.
I feel where you're coming from with that, Trey. I totally get it. Don't do tit for tat because, like you say, the
You see
retaliation,
Dante?
the
Uh,
retaliation, the retaliation. I feel you, but I'm going tit for tat. I'm behind Ray Ray, who goes to my little brother's stupid, man. He said I'm coaching. I'm going to hire Ray Ray, who
oh
goes
Jesus!
to
Come to the league, get to the championship,
you
and then
stupid.
that's when you gonna be the next one fired. And then,
He can't be fired though. He'll owner.
oh
If
yeah,
Dante, he can't be fired. He owner. That's the thing. That's
that's
the
true.
see. And that's why that's the good thing about it because once you're an owner, can't nobody fire you from the owner. You own the team. So when you make those decisions, everybody got
But
to
you
live
can
and
you
abide by
can't
that.
you can be removed if it doesn't meet up to what the bylaws meet. Hence, Donald Sterling, uh, and the Sarver from Phoenix. So although owners, saying, hold some power, the owners can be, saying, dealt with upon in
accordingly.
different instances accordingly. If it,
Right,
saying, hence the reason that's what the commissioner is there for. He does
right.
work for the owner.
Ownerships of all the NFL
However,
teams.
he's also there to ensure that the good order and discipline is exacted,
Right,
and saying, and they follow what it is that they put forth. So, saying,
right,
it's a police.
right,
He's supposed to police up the owners for the most part. So
right, right. No,
it's
I
definitely.
get it, man.
But y'all completely
Right,
may forget a point I was about to make. Dante, man,
Ray, boy, he's stupid, man. He said, "Hey, Ray, we calling up Ray. Hey, Ray, hey,
hey,
bro,
boy, I
bro,
will
I'm
see
about to
you.
buy Denver, bro. Bro, I'm about to own Denver, bro. Hey,
You see,
throw all them little league equipment away, bro. You about to be big league, bro. You
yes,
about to be big league.
because think about it. Did do with a I if I was an owner. I mean, I've been an owner, not of what's called, but
Right,
being
but
an
of the
owner.
basketball team, right?
Yeah, like think about what LeBron did. LeBron put his crew on.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Facts.
now,
He did.
yeah, now you have Rich Paul is like Clutch Sports is like one of the premier sports management firms in
I
the
mean,
in the
it ain't
in the
no different
country.
than what it ain't no different than what Oprah did for Gail.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
She put her on.
Exactly.
She put her best friend on, and look at Gail now. She's
Yeah.
on the morning, Good Morning America. Like, come on, bro. Like, sometimes you do take those sacrifices, and make those moves to try and get us get us as African Americans above and ahead because excuse me. And when it's all said and done, we know the whites are going to always have the privilege over us. They're always going to get that first, 9 times out of 10. So it's just if you have the ability, you have the capabilities, should I say, to be able to take care of our own, take care of our own. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. When
Yeah.
it's all said and done, take care of
Yeah,
our own.
I could agree with that. Like I said, I'm not going to because I can hear exactly what you're saying. It's like you're saying you're going to get the most qualified of our own for the most part. If it is, saying if you can find someone that's remotely qualified equally, I
Mhm.
mean, you will be willing to go with the most qualified African American, especially if they're close to what you could have found in the most qualified. You're willing to do that because that's your right as an owner.
Right, right, right.
It does allow the seat at the table. Okay, and for the most part, that's what everyone wants, a seat at the table. Who wouldn't
And
want a
that's
seat at
it.
the table? Yeah,
That's it.
and
That's it.
I
Once
completely
we get
agree
a
with that.
seat, we have more pull. Now we have more of now our words aren't falling on deaf ears. You know what I'm saying? Once we have a seat at the table, now they have to listen. We could throw our people's name in the hat when those opportunities. Absolutely, absolutely. Absolutely. Like I said, now we have more now things in which we say don't fall on deaf ears. You know what I'm saying? You have an opportunity to, people they gotta listen because now you at the table along with them. So I totally agree with you.
Definitely. And like I said, it's unfortunate when it comes down to it because Mister and that
Floyd.
was the so. Oh, you know what? I bring this up, bro. I bring this up. You tell me, and y'all, please in the comments as well. We all know Bill Belichick has an affinity to put on for people who look like us, right? So, do you think that? So, why do black entrepreneurs get together and become owners and start new teams? This man. So, first and foremost,
That
Applewhite,
ain't gonna happen, bro.
that the
Mhm.
reason, well, the main reason, the most obvious reason why it's going to happen is it has to be a good amount. At this point, you need a good
Owners
amount of
itself.
teams or you need a good amount of teams in order to keep the balance in the.
That's why San Antonio doesn't have a football team. The
Yeah, because
NFL
they had
team,
it had to
you have
even
to
the only
have a
thing they could do is take over, or they could buy the Broncos for the
right,
most part, and
right, but
then
they
put that.
cannot have their own team
But they can't
because of
have
the
another
fact
team unless it's
because
unless it's another amount of teams.
the owners a certain percentage of the owners have to agree to allowing another team to be brought
Yeah,
into the league, and if they don't get enough, then it won't happen. And that's why
guys,
San Antonio is so upset because San Antonians have been so eager in regards to trying to get a team. That's
true
why
that, Dante.
they've been trying to get the Raiders, they've been trying to get the Broncos, they've been trying to get a couple of teams, and for whatever reason they won't, because the owners won't do it.
Yeah, because you got
Because enough owners won't agree to it. That's why San Antonio doesn't have a team.
Yeah, because they have to look at it. The ideally is it has to be able to make money.
Right.
They don't
And
want you to show
one
if it.
main reason why San Antonio won't do it is because of Jerry Jones. We have two teams in Texas already. So if you add another team in Texas, that takes money out of Jerry's pocket, because now you have a whole nother team in Texas, and now you have more fans that may switch from Dallas over
Split the basis.
to San Antonio. So that's why.
Honestly, do y'all believe that a team in from this from the example which Bishop just said, do you honestly think a team in San Antonio is going to make money? Like, do you think it's a lucrative offer of
Market.
investment? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. For basketball, yeah, because they've been there, so it's built over time. But now in the year 2022, a basketball team a football team in San Antonio is probably not going to be a lucrative. Well, then again, it might be because but it for on the outset right now, it probably would be. It's probably other markets that would be more lucrative than putting a team in San Antonio at this point. So.
Name a few that you feel like would be more lucrative. That would be more lucrative than San Antonio. Mind you, San
Mm-hmm.
Antonio, we have over 100, over 2 million people
Mm-hmm.
in the state, in the city of San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I'm
What's going
listening.
on, Randy?
Name a few places that you think.
Let me see.
Oh, that's right. There's already three. There's already
Three,
three
Dallas and
teams.
Houston. Yeah,
Yeah, to Dallas and
two.
Houston. I don't know why.
You said it right because I had
Yeah,
to think about it too, but you said it right. It's two. It's two. It's
two,
already two
Dallas
teams.
and Houston. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So yeah, which Houston is right up the road, which is Houston's only 2 hours away. But y'all got three teams in California. Why we can't have?
We got
Well,
a whole
y'all
bunch
had
in
three.
California.
Y'all had
No,
three.
we have three.
Oh yeah, y'all still
We
got the
have four.
Chargers.
We have four.
We had four.
Like
So,
Cal,
like,
you got
come
to be in
on, bro.
California. I just had this conversation the other day. We have California has an immense amount of teams in all across the board in all four uh major sports
Sports.
markets.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes, yes.
like it's 4 to 5 teams in all four
On all
in all
major
sports
sports.
sports
Right.
markets, including the MLS.
Right.
Like it's so you know what I'm saying. So I'm not disputing that, but what I'm saying is, but then that brings up the conversation, like you just said, putting the team like each sports market. California has two teams in LA alone.
Right. Right.
But LA is a huge city in which they
What's the
can,
what's the
but
what's
it's
the
lucrative.
population?
How I say again?
What's the population out there? Do you know?
No, I haven't even looked at the
Okay.
population, but it's a huge city, and so because of the city, it's worth people coming. Like there's two LA basketball teams, there's two LA football
Football
teams,
team.
there's
Right.
two LA
Baseball teams.
baseball teams,
Dodgers
there's
and
two
yeah.
LA MLS teams,
Right.
there's one LA hockey team.
Right.
But for the most part, every team in LA dons a championship. So it's like that's money. That's cha-ching at the end of the day.
So who's to say San Antonio wouldn't do it?
Not saying that they wouldn't, but I'm just saying that it's a small money market is what it is. And there's not even a baseball team in San Antonio. You
Yeah,
have
we don't
you
have
have
a we don't
yeah.
have a we don't have
You have a small amount. You have a
we don't
small
have a
amount of
pro baseball. I mean, we have
yeah.
a we
Yeah,
have
you have
the
the triple A's.
yeah, we have one
Yeah.
of those, yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. So it's more of a draw. So that's honestly why there's no team in Seattle currently, and why they're trying to get a team in Seattle. There's no NBA team in NBA team in Las Vegas, but I can rest assured is probably going to be one. Is you know what I'm saying?
3.9
It's
million.
in 2019 LA population. So you know
Well,
what I'm saying.
it's probably not doubled, but well, yeah, it
I
probably
bet
has doubled. It's
in 2
2022.
years.
Yeah,
In 2 years.
it's probably
8
doubled.
million.
Yeah.
So it's a population. So like you know, what I'm saying right now the hot market for certain sports is Las Vegas. Like that's I think that's the first place. It just so happened they already have a football team. But I mean, to answer your question, I was going to say San Diego, but hence the reason why the Chargers left San Diego. That's not a popular spot to sit up and have a team. At one point, the Clippers was in San Diego. So, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, San Diego for many years has not been an area, a destination to put a team. Hence the reason why they're no longer there and moved up the coast to Los Angeles. I would have to really sit and think about that. Like, where is a place now that is
Right.
like a hot area
Yeah,
to
I knew we had something like 1 million some people in 2020. Yeah, I knew because there's a sign right there not too far from my house that shows that has the population sign. So I knew it was 1 million. I knew we had over 1 million people. So
So yeah,
And
so
I
it
and I
but
get it. I don't
yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't think of no other place right off the top of my head
Mhm.
um that could, you know, that could actually have a football team, a NFL team outside of San Antonio right off the top of my head because all the major cities
I mean, are
have football teams
and
outside of San
now we
Antonio.
yeah, now we're talking about small money markets, and it's like so it's like we have to find a small money market that doesn't that will be that is better than that of San Antonio because you got Jacksonville, Miami's already locked down.
Right. Jacksonville got a team too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're already locked
Yeah.
down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying
See,
Tampa
but
Bay is
then you
locked
gotta
down.
yeah, they got three teams out in Florida.
Three
See,
football teams.
yeah, they got three team football teams out in Florida.
What and I almost would say Orlando, but Orlando's so close in proximity to Tampa.
Tampa, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, and then I think on the opposite side, maybe Jacksonville. So, I mean, it doesn't. But that would be one place I would think Orlando.
And
Um,
then what is the capital of football? Honestly, Trey. And don't you say no nonsense.
the capital of football,
Yeah, like what is the football state? Put it like that.
Texas.
Exactly. Exactly.
I would, yeah,
Would
Texas,
probably be
Texas,
in
New York.
Florida and California. No, not
Well,
New
I wouldn't
York.
even say New York because New York is where their offices stand at. But yeah,
Yeah, but
but obviously,
I'm
but
talking about where you actually grab athletes from. Where do the majority of your
Texas,
athletes come
Texas,
out of
California,
Texas?
Florida.
Yeah, Texas,
And
California,
late,
Florida. Exactly.
well, I think what's called is
Exactly.
making a push to the south with between Atlanta, Alabama, and Alabama,
Yeah, but they're not. Yeah, they are, but I don't think they outdoing Texas, Florida, and LA and
California. Yeah,
California.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they outdoing them when it comes to football players. But yeah, that's just the other thing. I feel like because of that, I feel like Texas. It just doesn't make sense that all these other places, Florida, the Californias, have 3, 4 teams, and Texas only has two.
Speaking of ownership, Dante, me and Bishop gonna have to talk to you. An idea of which we discussed before, but I think we have come up with another idea in which might be something good. So Dante,
More
we gonna say,
lucrative.
yeah, more lucrative. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of ownership, so we Dante, we gonna have to talk.
What's up?
What you say? Go ahead.
I don't know. What is he saying? So the NFL needs an Abraham Lincoln to step out, or the league will never change. Ah, okay, okay. I see where you're going with that. AP. They need a new football constitution. Hmm. Hmm. Does that will that make a difference though? Because as long you still got the same people in ownership.
So okay, this is a little closer to home for us. Now you tell, and then I think you are perfect, one of the perfect people to talk about this, Bishop. Um, so what just came, I don't think anyone has said this for the most part about like going and making our own our own league for the most part in reference to that. But what do you think about that? Now, of course, you was a member of another fraternity
Mm-hmm.
in the M Glow,
Mm-hmm.
and y'all seen some things in which y'all didn't like, and so
Mm-hmm.
y'all decide to step out and go to and create your own organization built
Mm-hmm.
upon tenets in which you felt like you can follow, and then y'all could follow it. So, what is your opinion, or what do you think about if someone was to say like to go build our own league that are is more conducive to that of individuals of color? Do you
So
agree
what
with
when you
that?
say when you say our own league, so are you saying just a league of African American or diverse players,
Well,
or
so no,
are you just talking
what
about
the what
ownership?
more no ownership, more owners that are in that are saying which allows them the opportunity so that way because we all know once you do something else like saying we saying with the Lord's blessing us creating this show based on sports and veterans and all that type of stuff could potentially bring forth something which someone else sees that and wants to and get her interjection in that and want to snatch us up, you know what I'm saying? And then it goes.
Mhm.
So with doing that, then one thing perpetuates the next thing, which what I'm saying now you get to the big leagues. So a organization or a league in which is predominantly where people see you can't you great when you greatness is when greatness is acted upon and you start to see greatness and that means greatness is what it is. So they see that as like, okay, that's a good GM. I see what they have done. I see that's what this coach has done at this level. Let's bring him up to the next level. Let's have a conversation with him at the next level and go on from there. So, do you agree with saying with something in that?
So in regards to that, like you mentioned, like you're right in regards to myself and my four LBs, man. Shouts out to Cyro Phi Military Fraternity Incorporated for taking on the challenge to start our own military Greek lettered organization in Cyro Phi. It was an idea of one of our founders, um, AJ Jackson, who is also known as MEB Hercules. It was his idea.
President.
Yeah, he is the current national president and also a founder. It was his idea initially, and he brought me on a second, and then it came up from there. Myself came second, then came, Hypnos, Aries, and of course Kratos.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing in regards to that, man, for us when it came to building our own organization, we face some challenges, and I think when it comes to trying to create our own league, our own, should I say, minority owners
Our
football
own
league.
platform, so to speak. That's
Right,
basically what we're
right,
talking about. Yeah,
right. For one, there has not yet been another football organization
successful.
that
Mm-hmm.
has been successful. We went through a plethora of different ones,
AFL.
yeah, and none of them, excuse me, and none of them seem to work out for whatever reason. I don't know if it is because of marketing. I don't know if it's because the NFL has been around so
I know the
long.
AFL was due to financing. Like it just couldn't float it any
That
longer.
part that probably plays a huge part, plays a huge role in it as well. So I think, when it comes down to it, I don't see it being a thing that would possibly happen.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but what I'm saying is that I feel like it would be very, very difficult. And not saying that should deter anyone from trying to do it, but however, as I said, we've had so many plethora of other leagues try to come up from even in the XFL to the AFL to the Arena League. You know what I'm saying? All of that, trying to excuse me, trying to break the ice into what the NFL is. And actually they finna start up another one this year, here in
The
April.
USL,
Yeah, they're trying.
USFL.
Yeah, the USFL, they trying to break in again in April to try and do what they do. And the NBA sucked up the ABA back in, yeah, I get it, but this is the thing. That's one thing the NFL didn't never have. The ABA's been around for years. The ABA, it was the
It's
it
still
was the
around.
NBA. You're right. It was the NBA and then was the ABA. You know what I'm saying? They was both kind of like running neck and neck at one point. You know what I'm saying? When it came to the NFL, there was nothing like that. Yeah, we had different. The conferences were different and stuff like that. I think it was called the American Football League, AFL, and stuff like that, and so forth and so on. And then they kind of combined it and made it the NFL. But yeah, I wish we could do that, Trey, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see that. I don't see that being something that would be lucrative, or not necessarily lucrative, but that would be something that would be successful. And I know a lot of y'all probably say, man, don't be a Debbie Downer, don't speak it into existence or whatever. But I'm just saying, y'all just don't. I don't know if y'all understand just how powerful that NFL organization is with their owners and all of that, man. They have a lot of pull up there, and they can pretty much at the snap of a finger. I feel like to be honest with you, I feel like the NFL is like a fraternity.
It is.
Um, it's like like if you try to come in and try something new, they'll find ways to try and uh sabotage what it is you trying to bring against them. Because of course, if you are trying to bring in a whole new league, that's taking money away from the NFL. If you starting to bring people in to see your league play, now you know what I'm saying. And I get it. A lot of people did it because they tried to do it during the off season of the NFL, but it still didn't work. That was the big thing. Everybody was like, well, let's not do it during the NFL season because we don't want people to pick and choose. Well, they tried to do it like they're about to do again here in April. They finna try and do it during the off season, and the Arena League been doing that forever. They've been doing that for a long time, and it's still not drawing the buzz in which I'm sure that they want it. But again, the Arena League doesn't probably draw a buzz the way they
Yeah,
want it
it's
because
just
they
a
changed
different
it.
year. Mm-hmm.
It's a different game. They changed the
Mm-hmm.
whole concept of the game, which a lot of people are so stuck on the way we're used to seeing and playing football.
Mm-hmm. True.
That's where the
But then
last
also
league
you got
fell
to
because of
can
finances.
take in
Yep.
consideration there is a owner of a football league in that saying uh the Rock, he owns the XFL, in which he's going to have an
Yeah,
opportunity. Yeah, so he's going to have an opportunity to try to
yeah.
reenact that and change that, and maybe so saying there's people that's out there that's doing things. He's just not saying saying like if people really like we're sitting up and talking about that, if it was really what it is, like just like the Green Bay Packers are owned by a conglomerate, they're owned by a city and owned by a nonprofit, which means the city of Green Bay owns the Green Bay Packers. If that's saying what people wanted to do, then that's the conversation. That's the conversation to be had, to where people actually stand up and like, this is what you want to do. Saying take initiatives to start to where if you want to become a black owner, or we stand and say we want black owners, then you start to saying you start there and then work their way up. At some
But
point,
this is
there's going to be somebody that wants to get down. Currently, there is one person that is African American that is looking to get ownership in the NFL. I don't know if he's a part of any ownership group that's making the play for the Denver Broncos, but I know it is a billionaire that is looking at becoming an owner in the NFL, and he is African American. I'll get his name while Bishop makes his comment.
if I'm not mistaken, I want to say Jay-Z wanted to own an NFL team at one point too. This is my thing, right? My question for you, Trey, and everybody else that's watching: why don't some of these ex-NFL players own a team or come together with another? Like, in other words, say for instance, um, I am athlete. Why don't them 4, 5 guys go into ownership and buy a team?
Bro, you see how much money that's needed? $4 billion.
You telling
And,
me they didn't
and
you
yes,
telling
that's
me they
exactly
didn't
what
make
I'm telling
no,
you.
you telling me they didn't make that four you telling me they didn't make that much money in their careers between the 5 of them?
They made that much money in their career. Yes. Do they have that much money now? No. But
But
all
that's
you
their
need to
hold
do
on,
is
but
be
that's the net worth. They're worth 4 billion. That's the
yeah.
net worth. That's not the
Yeah.
asking
Well,
price.
that's
That's
not
the
the
net
asking
worth.
price. Yeah, but you got to think if it's worth 4 billion, then someone's probably going, and it's worth 4 billion because of things like the TV rights deal, in which
Yeah,
was
all
just
of that.
signed, and
All of that.
the bet and the ability to bet on sports now in the NFL. So that's why that what drives the price up, because the last team that was purchased, which was the Carolina Panthers, was purchased for 2.4 billion dollars. So what I'm saying, saying that's the difference. But it's so yeah, I don't believe that they have I so this is what I mean. Of course, them alone, I don't think would be able to pony up that type of money. But I
Mhm.
believe that they can be the head of a group, a purchasing group to make a
Or even
bid.
if they find someone to
Yeah,
finance it for them. Like,
to
okay, say they don't have the money, those 5.
hmm
But they go to find whoever this gentleman you talking about who is, looking to be an owner. Hey, okay, just because you are owner doesn't mean you know exactly how to run an NFL franchise. So if you get some NFL players who can be co-owners, and they put in maybe a percentage, and you already have this black African American or minority owner, it helps. It helps because obviously, you know, you said Serena and Venus are co-owners of the Miami Dolphins, but that didn't
yeah,
make any difference in regards to Brian Flores staying in Miami. You feel what I'm saying?
yes.
It didn't have no, it didn't carry no weight in keeping Brian in Miami.
Okay, billionaire is Robert F. Smith, who is actually looking to purchase the Denver Broncos. So he is, and he's a black billionaire, Robert F. Smith.
Okay.
So if you
Good
get a
luck,
chance
Robert
to
F.
look
Smith.
at Robert F. Smith.
I hope you do it too, man.
So of course, as we know, there's going to continue. This is an ongoing conversation. It will be an ongoing topic, and of course, we will be here to continue to cover it, to speak about it, give saying at this point subjective, but anything it would say as though it's subjective. There is we always look for the facts in it, so that way we're not putting out any erroneous information or anything that's saying based upon our hearts. We specify when we expect talk about our opinion, so that way there's no way of blurring those lines. Of course, like I said, we would be what all started this is the fact of Brian Flores, ex Miami Dolphins head coach, decided to sue the NFL and three additional teams, with a class action lawsuit for the discriminatory practices and racist practices when it comes to hiring African American or people of color in head coaching positions and GMs. So, and he's looking to get the to basically usher in a new dawn in which we're able to where the policies are better and police up the ownership groups in the NFL.
So,
Oh, that's a good question.
AP,
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
AP, I think that's a real good question. That's actually a very legit question. That may work. It's a possibility. I mean, it's worth the try. It is worth the try. It's gonna make for some angry fans, so it could definitely possibly work. Because that's gonna be the key. The fact that the fans will be upset at the matter that there are no NFL games being played. Oh yeah, something's
So
gonna have to happen. Something would have to happen. They would have to make something happen. You know what I'm saying? They would have to definitely make something happen because all these teams will be losing mad money.
revenue, yeah. So
Yeah,
let me ask you. Okay, let me ask you this: would you, for the most part, at this point in this juncture, for us
facts,
as well,
Erica. Facts,
for
Erica.
this for the at this juncture for us as well, somewhat livelihood. The NFL is a part of our livelihood now as media. Would you boycott the NFL?
And you talking about myself
Yes, yes, yes.
in regards to what not watching?
Yeah, not watching, not reporting on it, not watching it, not
Ooh,
see. That's just real
that's
talk. Like
hard.
this is livelihood. Like we make.
That is. That's
Yeah,
hard,
so
bro. That's
so you know
hard.
but it's interesting. Like that's a question. So it becomes, but is it because
That's what
does it
Erica's
become
saying. We aren't on the same page in order to boycott
yeah, exactly. So it's like saying it becomes livelihood. It's like we would be asking players to boycott. That's their livelihood.
as well.
But
Facts.
I also look at it as someone got to be able to live to tell the story. So what I'm saying. That's media. That's what we do. We tell stories. We
We
get
got to
to
tell stories,
we
right?
got to tell stories. So they ain't got no
Right.
choice to it. So I'm saying that just
I
saying
mean,
so
but
that
but some
happens.
at some point though, Trey, you have to pull out all the stops,
Yeah, like
and
I
you have
said,
to
I
and
felt
you
like
have
I
to
was a
go.
martyr for that situation. I was willing to lose my rank and all that type of stuff for the situation in which I dealt with JBLM. I was like, nah, it has to stop. Like, so
Mhm,
it's like sometimes, true enough, you have to, but you have to make a conservative, saying, and basically a discerning situation and get discernment and know that I'm doing this. I'm fully, saying invested in this, and I believe that it's going to come out in my favor or somewhat in my favor at the month. But you can't look at it as I sacrifice all this and this is what we got at the end of the day, because plenty of people look at, they believe Martin Luther King sacrificed a lot, and some feel like it's not, saying it isn't in his, it's not enough, it hasn't met enough of what his sacrifice is. But like I said,
mhm,
it will continue on, and we continue to have the discussion and conversation. So
mhm,
not to make light of it, but Bishop, I ask you this question.
mhm.
Now with Tom,
Excuse me.
now with Tom Brady gone,
Mhm.
Sean McVay. I mean Sean. I wish Sean McVay was gone, but Sean Payton is gone. Who do you think owns the NFC South now? Who you rocking with now to win the NFC South come this season, upcoming season? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers won it last year. I mean this year. Who you think might be in the front seat? When you got the Carolina Panthers, the
They don't
Tampa
have a.
Bay Buccaneers,
Okay, go
New
ahead.
Orleans Saints, and Atlanta Falcons. Who would you say
It still
is
got to
your
be the
front?
Bucks.
You still think the Bucks?
Yeah, it still got to be Bruce Arians
Okay,
because he still. I mean, don't get me wrong. He
he's
definitely
still
had
the coach.
major. Yeah,
He
he's
hasn't
still
had
he's.
Brady, but
Yeah, yeah,
he's still
Brady. Yeah, but he's still the coach. He still made the calls. So you still got to go with Bruce, because of the fact that yeah, they still was a game away or two games away from making it to the Super Bowl. So yeah, I would say Bruce Arians, in my opinion.
I think Atlanta makes a resurgence, man.
Really?
Yeah, I think Atlanta makes a resurgence because
Not with Maddie. Not with Maddie. Not
you
with
think
Maddie.
Maddie's done. It's time for her to
Maddie,
go become
yeah,
his backup.
you've exhausted all you could have exhausted out of Maddie, bro. Maddie is done. He should have been gone before Tom.
Bucks say ain't gonna have any issues. They ain't got a
Bucks,
quarterback,
they don't have
Dante.
any issue. That's the only thing they don't have though.
So that's
Which is
and,
key. Which is a key.
yeah,
Don't get me wrong. Which is a key part.
that's what my premise is basically on. New Orleans doesn't have a coach nor a quarterback. Tampa Bay, I mean, not Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay doesn't have a quarterback. Carolina,
You
I
might as
don't
well
know.
say Atlanta doesn't have a quarterback too.
Well, they
You might
still
as well
have
say
Matty Ice.
Atlanta.
Well,
But
actually,
yeah,
they do have Matty
because
Ice. Like he probably should be going, but they do have Matty Ice technically.
but Matty Ice is playing. Is not playing at a caliber to say he's worth being there. Yeah, and like my brothers need to do other teams. Like in other
Dante,
words,
you just got to be
like
you just got to
no,
be you just got to be faster than the slowest man, Dante. That's all. You just got to be faster than the slowest man.
no, I'm just saying, like he's saying, Atlanta having Matty still is
Mhm.
like Tampa Bay not having Tom. I mean, you laughing, but I'm so serious, bro. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh
It's
my
like
god.
for real. Like all of Atlanta want Matty gone. All of Atlanta want Matty gone. They've been so wanting Matt to be out of Atlanta. It's ridiculous. Like I'm surprised they ain't started throwing stuff at him on the field. They
Like they,
want him gone
like
so
they
bad.
did the Cowboys when they walk
Yeah,
off the field after losing.
yeah. They want Matt gone so bad. So yeah, for me it has to be Bruce Arians. I mean, you saying Atlanta, that's a shocker, but yeah, I would
Yeah,
definitely have to say
I think
Bruce.
Atlanta makes a resurgence. But I mean, we of course, like you said, we got what seasons of 8. What we in 6 months away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a long 6 months, but
Oh, you
New
got
Orleans
New Orleans. They don't have a coach.
and
How
a
would you
quarterback. They
or a
got Taysom.
quarterback?
They got
Right now, they
Taysom.
don't fit. Yeah, right now they trying to figure out. Right now, they trying to figure out what did he say. What my brother say?
Matty
Matty
Ice has
Ice
been
has on
called.
called. It's over. Facts. Yeah, you can't say the Saints. They don't have a coach or a quarterback. You don't know what you're gonna get out of Jameis because he ain't. We haven't seen what he can do after his injury. And
Applewhite's a risk taker, bro. So
I
you
mean,
know,
yeah,
Applewhite's
yeah,
going to sit up and you. He
yeah.
said, I mean, yes, you got to think. Yesterday, he said that uh that
Yeah,
Pollard
but will
was the
their
best
coach
thing.
be successful though? AP, that's the question. Yeah, anybody can be a coach. Anybody can go to coach, but can you be successful following Sean Payton? That's the question at hand. You going to coach for the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints is like somebody going to Tampa Bay and being a quarterback for Tampa Bay after Brady's gone.
Applewhite,
It's
put your application in for the Saints.
the same. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Oh yeah, and I agree with you, Trey. We did this. The dude that said Pollard is the best player on the
For
Dallas
the
Cowboys. Stop it, bro. Stop it. You know it. You wanted to say Dak, but you ain't want nothing. You ain't want to hear
yeah,
my
but
mouth. But we know Dak Prescott is the best player on the Dallas Cowboys.
who
That's
has the
right.
best QB
Who?
situation?
Yeah. Who? Boy, what is you talking about? They still have the best QBs. In what way?
Get him on the line, Dante.
Get him on the line. Call him. He needed. Who has the best QB situation? AP, because
the
you
best
got
QB,
me.
the
You got
best
me
QB
lost. I know you're not saying they got the best QB. I know you ain't talking about the Saints
in the South.
in the South.
Nah,
Well,
nah,
yeah, no, probably in the South. Yeah,
nah,
who got
nah.
the best? Who got the best one? You just named them. Tampa Bay don't even have one. New Orleans don't have a quarterback. I mean, well, they got Jameis, and he's saying New Orleans got the best situation because it's Jameis and Taysom.
But
Panthers don't have.
for one, Jameis is a free agent. They only have Taysom. That's currently Taysom and Ian Book. That's it.
But the Carolina Panthers got who?
They got
Minshew. Oh
Darnold.
no, Donald, Sam
They got
Donald,
Darnold and Cam is a free agent too. They got Darnold.
but Donald, and then what was the fourth team?
Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Atlanta,
And
yeah, Atlanta
Atlanta has
and
Matty
Matty.
Ice.
He's probably right. They do got the best QB situation out of the four teams in the South.
You think so? Well,
I mean, look, do you not think about it? Tampa Bay don't have a quarterback. Carolina, really? Sam Darnold came out of the Jets, went to
correction. Tampa Bay does have a quarterback. They have Ian. They have Trask.
Oh, but we haven't seen nothing.
But they have a quarterback. They
No,
probably
he's
don't
not
have the
saying,
best quarterback.
but
Okay,
the
just say that. But
best quarterback
I still would
situation.
go. I would still stay with Atlanta or Carolina before I
Atlanta
just.
really after ice is thawed? Really? Come
Yeah,
on,
man.
bro.
Like you got.
Who's they backup? Who's backing up Maddie?
I don't even know who's backing
That's
up
the
Matt.
thing. See, so the quarterback situation, you can't really. I mean, Applewhite, I got to give you props for that because that you probably right.
Nah,
In my opinion, yeah, I
that's
do have to agree to that part.
fallacies.
Fallacies. Oh, that's who need to come back right there
Course.
over
So, what do
behind
you
my
think
head.
about?
That's who
Like
need
we
to come
talked
back
about it
right
a little
there.
bit earlier.
Herm. That's who need to come back right there.
Herm
Right there.
Edwards.
Yeah,
Matt.
that's who need to come
Oh,
back.
is that Dungy or that's Dungy or
Is that
Edwards?
Tony Dungy? That is Tony
That's
Dungy.
Dungy. Tony Dungy.
Yeah, Tony
So,
Dungy. Not Herm
do
Edwards.
you
Yeah,
think?
Tony
Do you
Dungy need to
think?
come back.
So let's put on your GM cap. If you was a GM for the 49ers being John Lynch, are you trying to find a trade for Jimmy G or are you releasing him to save $26 million in the cap?
Releasing him and saving $26 million in the cap.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we all said we
I
had
don't think
before
you
we talked
could
about.
trade Jimmy. I don't think nobody will take him.
I think there's a market for trading, but what are you getting back? Like I can get
Yeah, and then
26 million, or
will
I
it
can
be
take
the worth
something that
to
I'm not
right?
going. Yeah, that I'm not going to be worth. Like that. That
Right.
doesn't do anything for my organization.
Whereas if I can get 26 million, I'd rather get the money
Yeah, so I
than
can
get
be.
some
I
BS.
go out and choose what I want to bring
Yeah,
in, as opposed to be forced to take what you're giving me because I'm
yeah.
trying to
Instead of
get
getting
him
some
off my
BS.
books.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. AP said release him. I sure do.
I don't know. I mean, it's AP saying it, so I don't know.
AP, don't take that, man. Don't take that, man. Don't take that.
So today was the day in which we got to see the new Washington football team logo and name. Did you get a catch to see what it is, Bishop?
Yeah, ain't it? It wasn't it just a big old W?
A big W, and they are now called the
Oh,
Washington
Washington
Commanders.
Commanders. So this is what I pose. What do you think of the Washington football team new name?
I don't feel the name. I don't like the name.
Do you know we have we had a semi-pro team here in San Antonio named the Commanders, the San Antonio Commanders. Like,
Oh, really?
yeah, like it took y'all that long to come up with the name Commanders. Y'all could have did that the same day when y'all got rid of Redskins. Like seriously, if you on here, Jordan, y'all, this is the best y'all could do. This is the best y'all could do is come up with Commanders. Y'all couldn't find another name. It do, Key. I totally agree with you. Y'all couldn't come up with another name besides Commanders.
That's
Too close
that.
to colonizers.
I guess so. So, Erica, I guess it depends on what side of the coin you're looking at. So, I can understand that, but I guess they're going off the fact of back to the military aspect of the of that. So,
Terrible, bro. Still dumpster fire at Washington. I mean, bro. Like, really, the Commanders. That's the best you could come up with. Wow.
yeah, I thought it was some pretty. I
Put
thought
a
it was.
big old W on the
Yeah,
helmet.
and then a W on the bigger W on
Come
the helmet
on,
as well.
bro.
You might as well stay at the
Y'all,
Washington football team for that fact.
you might as well. Y'all could have kept that. Y'all could have kept that. I was getting used to Washington football team
Yeah,
anyway.
I just started
I
calling the
was getting
Washington
used to
football
saying
team
that.
instead of the Redskins.
Yeah,
So,
I was really getting used to that. Now y'all gonna come out talking about y'all the Commanders? Stop it, man. Y'all, man.
so
Red Wolves. They
looking at
was
the Red Wolves key, but they found there was too many infringements
that
in trying
name.
to do that. But I mean,
Mhm.
there's other one like the Brigade. I think that made a hard statement, or like stuff like that. But to be called the Commanders, like I just don't feel the Commanders. I just don't, not in any way, form, fashion. Of course, they're not my team either. But it's from
Yeah,
an aspect of
but the owners out there, y'all are terrible coming up with that name. Y'all are terrible. Like, listen, look at y'all the Washington Commanders, but y'all got the Washington Bullets. Like they killing y'all in the name. Isn't it Washington Wizards? The Bullets, right? They
the
the Bullets, right?
the Bullets now. Bullets are the Wizards now.
Wizards. I'm sorry, they used to be the Bullets. They
Mm-hmm.
went from
You got
better
Washington,
to
and
even.
you got the Washington Senators. They coach their
Ain't there the
NHL team.
Capitals too? Isn't there the
Yeah,
Washington Capitals out there? Something.
no, I think there's the Senators. Or in
Was it
case, or Capitals want to watch
something like
their
that?
NHL team.
Yeah, yeah. So like y'all came up with the Commanders. That team needs a new state and owner. They have passed their stay in. They need something, bro. They could have, they would have been better off Googling a name. So disappointing. I like hockey team. Yeah, yeah. They would have been better off Googling the name. What
So
should be the Washington football team's new name? They
so
did came out better.
if you were having a football team, let's say since we talking about football team in San Antonio, what would you call the San Antonio football team, Bishop? If you was the owner bringing the football team, what would be the name of your team?
Here in San Antonio, probably San
Yes,
Antonio Tigers
the Tigers.
or the San Antonio Bandits.
Bandits. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Same color scheme as the keeping the
Mm-mm,
same type of color scheme as the
mm-mm,
same. Oh,
mm-mm,
no.
mm-mm. No, my team, my colors would be blue and orange.
Oh, it's keeping those colors like the UTSA.
Mm-hmm. Perfect colors. Perfect colors. Yeah, I like it.
I
I
can rock
like it.
with it. I can rock with it.
Yeah,
So another topic I think you'll like. No, nothing intended or nothing. No speculation. The NFL has awarded $1 million for the research and studies of cannabinoids for pain management. What do you think about it? Is it
I
about
think
time, Bishop?
I think that's an
You love it.
amazing thing.
Are you willing to be in
Sign
that
me up.
study?
Sign me up. Where do I show me where I need to sign up on the dotted line? I'm there. Can you please let
Oh,
me see it?
Jesus. Uh,
I need to see it. I need to see it, man. And let me know if y'all need some, some test dummies for it. I am willing to be him. I
that
am willing to be.
true that Dante, long overdue. It is long overdue. Of
Yeah.
course, when you look at it to where I mean, if not abused at the end of the day, I mean, I'm
Can
very
you
sure.
abuse? Can you abuse a marijuana?
I
We
don't
know they
partake of
say
it.
it's a gateway drug to other
Yes,
drugs, but
yes,
can you
but
abuse marijuana?
I don't partake of it in any way, form, or fashion. Not saying not against anyone else. I just don't do it personally.
Sorry to hear that.
So, so, but I do know a plethora of individuals. Saying some of them are even on the show or in the
Oh wow! Oh, you just gonna put my
or
business
well,
industry
correction.
like that?
I mean, I'm sorry, correction. Some of them are say in the comments and all that type
Oh
of stuff,
wow!
which I
Oh
know
yeah, that's what
that
he's talking about. He's talking about the
yeah,
people who's actually on, you
in the
not on the
comments,
show,
yes,
but on the
not on
show.
the show, but
On the
saying.
show.
So I know they do it. Whether, of course, the gummies and Rice Krispie
The
treats and stuff
edibles and
like
all of
that.
that.
The
Yeah,
edibles, yeah,
yeah.
that partake of that have them a little
I think it's
twisted
well
back.
overdue, like my brother said. I think the NFL. I think that's a good thing if it's going to help with
That's why I
pain
said not
management.
as long as not abusing
Yeah, if it's going to help with. How do you think Ray Ray got that?
it.
Facts, yo.
We need Ray Ray on the show.
Oh, boy, we need Ray Ray so he can tell us. You know what I'm
So you can
saying?
tell us the
It's
story
not
about how.
it's not a performance enhancing drug, y'all. Now know that it don't help you. Well, anywho, we gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it moving. We gonna keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? We gonna keep it moving.
Oh my goodness, Jesus Christ!
But that,
Oh,
yeah, I feel like that's if it helps with pain management, it's going to get players back on the field sooner and help them deal with pain in any way. I think it's
and
a
it
great.
said, I think they said some. It helps, and it could be a possibility of helping as well with the concussion
Oh, really?
issues
Now
as
that
well.
would be
Yeah,
huge.
in
If it
which
could
they
help
said.
with CTE, that would be huge. Yeah, if it
So
could do that, that would definitely be huge. Now, of course, they would have to put in some guidelines and some stipulations. You can't come to the practice high. You can't come to the games high. You know what I'm saying? And then testing now would have to be different because now when the test comes up, you would have to make the test where it doesn't even involve uh um what is the
CB or TAC and stuff like that.
TAC. Yeah, you have to do the test. Well, I couldn't even think of the end of the three letters. TAC. You'd have to be able to make a test that excludes that TAC. So yeah,
Yeah, there's levels to it. CBD
doesn't
doesn't
get
get
you
you
high.
out here.
Yeah, facts, and then there's levels. That's facts, facts, true facts.
So
True.
as we move on and
Which I
transfer
feel like
into.
some players are probably already doing CBD.
Oh
To be
yeah,
honest with
definitely.
you,
Yeah, same.
to be completely honest with you,
So much research showing how it helps. Exactly, Dante. I agree.
it does absolutely. There is so much research that
Ricky,
Ricky Williams
he fell on the sword. He fell on the
he
sword.
was he believed in it. He
And
believed in
and
it.
when he had it for the most part, when he was effective, when he was on it too.
Yeah, Yeah, Ricky quit. Ricky stopped playing football early because it was so good to him.
He's like he shows his career. He chose the chugs over his career.
Man, look, I can't afford not to come. I can't afford not to come to practice high. So let me tell y'all what, man. I'm gonna go ahead and retire
I'm
and
gonna go
let
ahead
y'all
and go
have
out.
this. I love my weed too much. I'm just gonna let y'all know.
So of course, last night moving on to NBA. Last night we had it was a slate, a couple of good slate of 7 games, I think it was, or eight,
And I went
seven.
3-7. Good lord, bro. Or 3-4. 3-4. I'm sorry, 3-4.
First up, Washington Wizards highlight game. Washington Wizards, correct. Washington Wizards traveled over to Milwaukee Bucks to take on the Bucks. Unfortunately, a 14-point L as the Bucks were victorious 112-98, improved to 32-21. The Washington Wizards dropped to 23-17. Of course, they were led by a double effort from Kyle Kuzma, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists. Efforts from Montrezl Harrell, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 0 assists. Um, Giannis Antetokounmpo led the charge for the Bucks with a 33-point
Triple
triple
double.
double, 33 points, 15 rebounds, 11 assists, in which he passed Michael
Michael
Jordan
Jordan.
for to become 18th on the all-time triple double scoring list. He had uh, Drew Holiday 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 22 assists as they, as I said, defeated the Washington Wizards. The Washington Wizards continue to drop, and and it's just unfortunate they started out as a hot team. It was being looked at and seen as a top contender. Now they have dropped. Was as just anything, as Bishop has continued to state, is going to things should change as we get closer to the All Star weekend, uh, and we should see different teams coming back from that slate. Of course, additionally, uh, as we sit up and talked about
I
the
did get that game right. The Bucks. I did pick the Bucks in that
yes, the
game.
Denver Nuggets traveled to Minnesota as the Timberwolves played host. The Timberwolves were victorious, 15-point win,
Hold on.
130 to 115. Yes,
You picked the Nuggets, didn't you?
no, I picked the Timberwolves.
Oh, okay. I did pick the Nuggets. Okay, I thought it
Yeah,
was other. Okay, go ahead.
it's the
Because I
15.
said you picked the Nuggets, so I said, oh, I'm gonna pick
Yeah.
Minnesota. You're right.
So they victorious. The Minnesota Timberwolves improved to 26-25 as they continue to send up the Western Conference pecking order. The Nuggets dropped to 28-22. Nuggets were led by Jokic, of course, 21 points, 16 rebounds, 8 assists. Conservative effort from Will Barton and Monte Morris with 13 points apiece. And then 12 points, respectively, from Jeff Green and JaMychal Green. The Timberwolves were led by Teron Prince, correction, Carl Anthony Towns with a double double,
Big Cat. I
24
was gonna
points.
say, yeah, Big
Yeah,
Cat.
24 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, 23 points, 9 rebounds from Teron Prince. They had what 7 players in double figures to help them get the W. Bishop again to Minnesota. They continue to do little things. It's like they nicking and diming as they get closer to the season. But I think that break is going to really be the difference for a lot of people at the end of the day. Whereas,
Yeah, and which
yeah,
we spoke about on numerous times. The Nuggets, man, like you know what I'm saying. I was upset. I'm not upset, but shocked that. Well, I guess I shouldn't have been shocked because Minnesota is, Big Cat and them are playing good ball out there.
mm-hmm,
But I just the streak in which Denver was on, you just thought they was unstoppable for right now, going into about to head into the All Star break because the All Star break is this month.
mm-hmm.
So yeah, I figured they would probably go a run. I didn't think the Timberwolves, which I should have thought the Timberwolves would beat them, but I didn't. I didn't know. But both teams coming out this break is gonna be it's gonna be something to see, man. They're definitely gonna be something to see.
And then Golden State traveled to San Antonio to take on the San Antonio Spurs in what we thought was just going to be a thrashing,
A
which
blowout.
wasn't an easy win at all.
Yeah.
Golden State was victorious, winning 124 to 120, improving to 39-13. The Spurs dropping to
That's the
19 and
best record in the
33,
league.
but they did have problems. It came down to the wire.
It did.
Jordan Poole, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Moses Moody, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Curry ended up what does Steph have? Was he even in the game? I don't even think Curry.
No,
Damian
Steph
Lee,
didn't play.
yeah, he couldn't play.
Steph
Yeah,
didn't play. Steph
yeah.
didn't play.
David Lee, 21 points, 5 rebounds,
Yeah, I
two
think
assists,
yeah.
and Kaminga, the rookie Kaminga, 19 points, 33 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I know how you feel, Bishop. Gary Payton Jr., 17 minutes, no points, 3 rebounds,
That's a
three
damn
assists.
shame, bro. How
Of
did you
course,
not even nigga make a layup? Forget foul, fall down and hope they call a foul so you can
send
go
you
to
to
the
the
line, bro.
go to the
Something,
line.
bruh. Do something. God, 17 minutes, you couldn't get 2 points.
They
Come on, bro. Did
The
he have
Spurs
any
had
stats,
two
bro?
had like I
Tell
said,
me,
the Spurs made the game. Three rebounds, 3 assists. So he
oh,
wasn't
at
completely
least
he was
he didn't
completely
have
status.
zeros. Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't have zeros all the way across the board.
Yeah,
Good
he
lord.
just of course it's like you said, the Spurs did make it the game. They had 6 players in double figures. DeJounte Murray led charge, 27 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists. Effort from Keldon Johnson, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. As like I said, the Spurs fell. Of course, it can be speculated that they didn't take that without Steph Curry. It could
It
have
could have been
been,
worse.
yeah, it
It
could
could have
have
been
been.
worse.
Oh yeah,
Did Clay
definitely.
play?
No, Clay didn't play either.
Oh yeah.
Clay is dealing with I think knee problems or something like that, knee pain, just like
Really?
LeBron. Yeah, just like LeBron.
He played
So
in the last game, right? So he just
yeah,
started complaining about the knee. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he's just per the last game in which
The win,
they
yeah.
played. Yeah.
Mhm.
So last night, what was this game? Booker, of course, Devin Booker. The game, the Brooklyn Nets traveled to Phoenix to take on
I watched that
the
game. I watched
Suns.
a part of that game.
Um, at the 50 game mark, the Suns are 41-9 with the top record in the NBA. Brooklyn 29-21 after this, losing 111 to 121. Of course, we all know with it being a away game, Kyrie Irving was able to play. Led the
No,
charge,
26
26
points,
points,
baby.
4 rebounds, 3 assists. James Harden, 22 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds.
A double
Uh,
double.
but after that, that's kind of where it stops at. Kessler Edwards
Well,
with 13
Blake
points.
Griffin dropped 17 for
Yeah,
him now.
17 for Blake Griffins and 26-2. The Suns, like I said, 35 points from Devin Booker with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Chris Paul with a double double, 20 points, 14 assists, 4 rebounds. Mikal Bridges poured in 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. And then two others in double figures: Cameron Johnson with 16 points, as well as DeAndre Ayton with 12 points. Uh, Bishop, I know, like we say, we keep on talking about the
Bro.
Suns and the and they being and they're going into the NBA break. But do you see them stopping when the NBA break comes back, or do you see their dominance continue?
For one, man, I'll say this. Like I said, I watched a portion of this game. I caught like I think it was what half. Caught the second half. Man, after watching that game, Brooklyn worries me, man. Brooklyn worries me
They
for
do.
one. Man, James Harden has no hustle. Like, good lord, that dude has no hustle in his game. None. Like his game, his hustle is is trash. It's straight trash, man. And they like when I say Phoenix, the game is 112 to 121.
Hmm.
The Phoenix should have won by way more than that, to be honest with you, because that there was nothing the Nets could do. They couldn't stop. They could not do anything with Booker. Booker was having a tangent. He was going off, and there was nothing they could do. And then with CP3 dishing it to Aiken and Booker hearing it, man, they just couldn't do nothing with the Suns, bro. And that worries me, man, because you had two of the big three on the court, and y'all still couldn't do nothing with them. Now,
Mm,
Durant does play a huge part within that lineup, and he probably accounted for 20 something more points. However, bro, like even with you, you still are barely beating the Suns if you add your 20 points in there
mm,
or 20 something points. So, I mean, right now the Phoenix Suns, in regards to your question, Phoenix Suns they're a scary team, bro. They're a scary team, and that shows because they was in the finals last year,
Mm.
which is expected from them. What they're doing is, they're playing great ball. They're playing great team ball, man. Like they are making all the right moves at all the right times on the court, man. And like I said, that Aiken is starting to become a name as a part of a big three in Phoenix.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He's a few more, excuse me, a few more points, uh, rebounds, and stuff away from being that dude considered that big third out there in Phoenix.
That big option, the third option.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they
Mm-hmm.
got definitely have a bunch of them, like you said, Mikael Brooks, Aiden. Uh,
Aiken, yep.
yeah, they have
Brooks
they're
is
not
good too.
short.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not short at all. In any case of matter. Other NBA action, two other games last night. The Orlando Magic traveled to Chicago to take on the Bulls. The Bulls were able to squeak out 126 to 115, improving to 32 and 18. The Orlando Magic fall to 11 and 41. They were paced by Wendell Carter Jr., 24 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Franz Wagner, the rookie Wagner, 22 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and 20 points from Cole Anthony with 6 rebounds and 9 assists, just short of a double double. DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine do exactly what we thought they would. DeMar DeRozan
Absolutely.
with a double double, 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. Zach LaVine, 26 and 5 with 3 assists. Nikola Vucevic, double double at 18 points, 13 rebounds, 2 assists, as they continue to show that they are a force to be reckoned with as they started out with at the beginning of the season. As we get closer to this break, the Heat and the Raptors, the Heat were took an L, another L. The Raptors pulled it out
They
again.
did. They
30,
did.
106, just barely 110, 106, improving to 26 and 3 games above 500, with the Miami Heat falling to 32 and 20. Jimmy Butler did play, earning a double double with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists. However, they were led by Bam Adebayo, 32 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, and 18 points from Tyler Hero. As the Raptors' leading scorer was Trent Gary Jr., as he has made his 5th game in a row with 30 plus points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist. 16 points from Pascal Siakam, 21 points from Fred VanVleet. I think with that win, they might have Chicago might have took back over. Oh no, they're tied. So they're currently tied for the number one seed in the East. Uh, it's starting. It's looking like I think as the NFL season go off, we're not going to be disappointed with the NBA season, as all these teams seem to be of equal stature. A couple of teams are above that. It's looking like it's going to be good. So Bishop, I have a question for you. Right, last
Mm-hmm.
night in the this last game, the Pistons took a L to the New Orleans Pelicans, which we both selected the Pistons. Took a
Mm-hmm.
L to the Pelicans. The Pelicans improved to 19 and 32.
Mm-hmm.
Pistons are now 12 and 38. However, even with that, Brandon Ingram, 26 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists, was ejected for what they call a taunting. Now, we all know Fred Jackson is a former player of the New Orleans Pelicans, and he blocked the shot into the stands and got over him and kind of like yelled and flexed on him. Was teed up and ejected. So I ask you, last night, did you tee up and inject any players in the games last night? I know you had three games,
Four, yeah,
uh,
no, I had four, but no, I
four
didn't have
games.
to. I didn't have to tee up nobody last
So,
night.
do you
But
think in this playful gesture that the official was a little overzealous in teeing them up and ejecting them for
well,
that?
see, I didn't see. I didn't see it, so I
Okay,
can't say yet. I'm gonna have to look at that and see because I did not see that. I watching it. I didn't see nothing about him getting ejected, but
yeah, he got
I would
ejected.
definitely. I would definitely check it out. But real quick for AP, do you still think the Nets deserve to be a big three? Yes, of course. Why wouldn't they be? I mean, why are you questioning whether they deserve to be considered a big three? Because regardless of the fact, Harden, Irving, Durant are still some of the best players in the league, without question. So yeah, they deserve to be a big three. Friends, some great show, fellas. True. All right,
RJ.
RJ, have a good one, man. Don't hurt him out there, man. Never on the court together. Yeah, but you still can't consider. I mean, I get where you going with that, but you can't. That doesn't stop them from being considered a big three. You're
Oh,
not a big
Jordan.
three. You're not
Jordan
a big
slid
three
off.
because you're on the.
He
Yeah,
slid off, but he ain't say nothing about that team, that name. You see how
he sure
he
didn't.
pulled the apple
All that
white.
talk we
He
talked
pulled the
about
apple
that
white.
name. Yeah, he
Mhm.
pulled the apple white. He didn't say nothing about the Washington Commanders. Um, but yeah, they still considered a big three, regardless if they on the court or not. AP, they would still be regardless.
So
Um,
yesterday, Bishop, last night, I know you didn't agree with the new format, but last night the team the player pool was announced for the up and coming Rising Star player pool. Of course, rookies Scotty Barnes from the Toronto Raptors, Cade Cunningham from the Detroit Pistons, uh, Ayo Damunsu from the Chicago Bulls, Chris Duarte from the Indiana Pacers, Josh Giddey from the Oklahoma Thunders, Jalen Green from the Rockets, um, Herbert Jones from the Pelicans, Davian Smith from the Sacramento Kings, even Mobley from the Cavaliers, Alperen Sengun from the Rockets, Jalen Suggs from the Orlando Magic, and Franz Wagner from the Orlando Magic make up the rookie pool. The sophomore pool is Precious Achua from Toronto, Cole Anthony from the Orlando Magic, Desmond Bain from the Memphis Grizzlies, LaMelo Ball from the Charlotte Hornets, Sadiq Bey, the Detroit Pistons, Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves, Tyrese Halliburton, the Kings, Tyrese Maxey from the 76ers, Jaden McDaniels from the from the Timberwolves, Isaac Okoro from the Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons, and Jashawn Tate from the Rockets. With additionally the team at night sent four players: Scoot Henderson, Jaden Harden, Dyson Daniels, and Majon Beachcamp. Of course, as we stated before, this pool is going to basically be used to choose seven teams, correction, four teams of seven to play in a tournament style, which of course team A will play team B, C will play D, and then the winners will play each other. When I look at this roster, I don't know about this roster. I think I would have rather had just seen the sophomores against the rookies in this one game. It sounds like it actually was going to be a high flying action packed game just from that. But I'm kind of interested in seeing how the actual uh, concept that they have currently have is going to go. What do you think, Bishop?
I have no idea, bro. To be honest with you, I didn't even know they had did all that. To be honest,
Hmm.
um, that you saying it or you saying it, uh, is news to me, and so um, yeah, I don't know why they needed to change the concept, the
The
concept of
format,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, the format of it anyway. Thank you, not concept, but the format. Yeah, I don't know why they felt the need to do that. I know they probably trying to give it some new flavor or whatever, but that wasn't the
Hmm.
way about doing it. Like I said,
Mm.
I think the East West coaches being team players is dumb.
Mm.
I don't like it. So I definitely don't agree with what they just did with this so called. What is it going to be called? It's not a rookie game, so it's what it called now.
It's the Rising Stars challenge.
Oh, it's the challenge, not an actual game.
Well, there's going to be a change, but it's just the Rising Stars. It's just the sophomores and the rookies basically versus and then four players from the player, in the G League has a team called Ignite G League Ignite, and basically they're a team composed predominantly of players that decide to not to overgo leave school and play professionally, and they play a year in or don't go to college, and they play a
Oh,
year.
they went straight to the
They go to the G League as opposed to
G
going
League,
to
college. Okay.
overseas and
Yeah.
or college. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Oh, and so they put that team into the the
They
mix.
just four players from that team.
Oh, just four players from
Yeah.
that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
From
so
that.
it's going
Yeah, okay.
basically it's going to be seven teams, and each team is going to consist of I would assume six. Well, I would assume three sophomores, three rookies, and one a night player, and they're going to
Oh,
play they're going to play to uh
oh, you gave me.
50.
You told
Yeah,
me that. That's yeah.
yeah.
See, that's dumb. You said that the other day. The number point, like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to get
They're gonna play the
whoever
20. They're
gets to
gonna play
that
the
number
50.
first.
Yeah, they're gonna play the 50, and
Oh,
then the
you might as
final
well
game
call
gonna
it.
be
You might as
25.
well call it 21. Why don't you just let them play 21?
Uh,
5 players. Whoever gets 21 first. Like that's what it
so
sounds like. It's stupid.
So additionally, they have named the 4 players for the slam dunk contest: Obi Toppin from New York, Jalen Green from Houston, Cole Anthony from Orlando, and Juan Toascos Anderson from Golden State will comprise the 4 players that will compete in the dunk contest this year. Uh, I don't know. I thought about this to myself. Cole Anthony be the smallest of the players. I'll be interested in seeing what he does. But I hope there's creativity because, in my
That
opinion,
boy Houston, that old boy out of Houston,
Jalen Green.
boy, that boy got some hops.
I
That boy got some hops. I'm
don't
telling
know.
you right now.
I hope.
He's my favorite right now.
So does Anderson. Anderson. I mean, he's tall, but he get up. Oh, Green your
Yeah, but
favorite.
I'm talking about that Green. Yeah, Green my favorite right now. I got Green as the favorite to come out that joint. Cause that boy
Mhm.
there got mad hops, bro. Mad
So
hops. Who in the
last
3
topic
point
of the
contest?
They haven't said it yet. They haven't
Oh,
came
they
up
ain't
with it yet.
announced. They ain't announced it.
They haven't announced the 3 point contest nor the participants for if they are still
I
having
do know
a
this.
challenge.
I do know this. After the performance by Booker once again, as he's been doing pretty much consistently throughout the entire season, he was asked last night
Hmm.
about not being picked as a starter for the West team.
Does he have a chip on his shoulder?
For me, is Booker from California?
No, I don't think he is.
I don't know because like last night he was talking about Booker, and I'm gonna get back to what on his thoughts about it. But last night, they was talking about Booker, and he's into old like Impalas and
Oh, so
old
yeah,
old school Jones. He put rims on it, and
yeah,
then
he's from
every they
Michigan.
show he from Michigan.
Yeah.
Okay, and then not only that though, but he also every time, and they show like a few different times if he come
Oh,
to
yeah, he
the
pulls up. Yeah, he pulled up.
I
Yeah.
propose up to the court, yeah, to the gym. Every time, bro, almost every single time he pulled up, he had a low rider or what I'm saying, a throwback, oldie but goodie. He always had on some type of khakis. It seemed like whether it was khaki color in color or khaki style,
Hmm.
and he always had on Chucks. He always had on Chucks on every single one. I was like, man, I wonder is he from Cali? Because you looking at him, you would think he was from Cali. The way he dressed, because he's straight Snoop Dogg look without the long locks. He looked like he had that Cali swag.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. But in regards to his he's very humble. Booker, he's a humble dude. That's why he was one that's why he was being tutored by one of the greatest, the Black Mamba.
Hmm.
Um, but he said he's not concerned. He knows, the big picture is basically, the winning a championship. I was about to say winning another. No, they were there. They didn't win it, but it's about winning a championship. So I didn't get the full conversation on what he
Hmm.
said. But yeah, man, they definitely asked him about it not being in the starting lineup for the West.
Mm. So one of the last topics from NBA, then we go to the NCAA. A couple of things I gotta say NCAA so we can finish up. So Ben Simmons feels that the Daryl Morey, GM or personnel manager for the Philadelphia 76ers, is basically waiting out to see if they're going to be able to attain Harden in the summer sweepstakes to get
If
him to
who's going to be
Philadelphia.
able to tame Harden?
The 76ers, hence the reason that they're not making the push to get rid of Simmons or to trade him.
So
Uh,
what they're going to plan on keeping Simmons as well as getting Harden?
I'm not sure. Or they're looking at what they can get or how they can what they after the end of the season. Basically, he thinks they're waiting out, and then, as opposed to getting rid of him or taking whoever's coming, they're looking at seeing what they can get for him, or if they can attain James Harden at the end of the season.
Hmm. That's interesting.
Hmm.
That's interesting.
I would wonder if there's any validity to that, or is it just, as we
Oh,
always say, business as usual.
yeah.
So we
Hmm.
know the Senior Bowl is getting ready is going to be played this week. A couple of quarterbacks
The
that
Senior
have been
Bowl
yes, excuse me, the senior college for Senior Bowl.
is that this week because the Pro Bowl this weekend too.
Yeah, the Pro Bowls this weekend as well.
So the college Senior Bowl is Saturday and the Pro Bowl is on Sunday.
I'm just thinking, tomorrow the Pro Bowl, tomorrow, which we talk about a little tomorrow. They do the skills challenges for the Pro Bowl
Oh,
tomorrow.
are they doing that
Yeah,
tomorrow? Okay,
they do that
okay,
tomorrow. Then the Pro Bowl is on, so like you said, Sunday. So the
okay.
Senior Bowl, saying Willis, I think Applewhite brung him up. They said is the Liberty quarterback. I think it's Jamal Willis. They stated that he's impressive but inconsistent, and they spoke
Hmm.
to how Pickett, quarterback from the Pittsburgh Panthers, uh, elected to not get his hands measured. So
Hmm.
yeah, he said he doesn't. He elected declined them measuring his hands.
Hmm.
So
What do you think that's about? Why you feel Ben needs to play and stop losing money? That is a bad decision he made, in my opinion. I feel you out
well, at
why.
this point, it's not out. It's not out to be. It's not being is Ben
Yeah.
decided he tried to play. They sat him down because they said he was doing things detrimental to the team. So and Pickett, yeah, I guess Pickett's all right. But yeah, so back to your question, Bishop. You told me about the small hands not being measured. I mean, his
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
saying that
yeah.
he has small hands. I So I would wonder, does it is it necessary to have large hands as an NFL quarterback? I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. I would think the bigger your hands are,
The
just
better
like
grip
in
you have with the
basketball, the
ball.
better you have, the more control you have of a ball. Yeah, yeah. I told the more grip you, the harder you can grip it. Probably. Yeah,
Mm.
I think that has a great deal to do with it.
No, Applewhite, I don't think that. Like Justin Herbert? Nah,
Mm-mm.
bruh.
I gotta look at Pickett's play again. I don't remember. You thought that's old boy out of Pitt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta go look at his play again. I don't remember what he did. I don't remember what he did, but mm.
Stop playing sauce.
Well, let me say this, man. I know you should have been this. I feel like you would have came in on today's show, announcing, going straight into the NCAA, despite
No, I
being
say
that
that for the last
being that
because
y'all being
it's
that you got
about
your
to
being
go
that you got your wish
down.
that you got Caleb
Yeah.
Williams. So
Caleb
I just assumed
Williams.
that you was gonna come on here and be like,
Caleb,
"Well, let's talk
no,
NCAA
what?
football,"
No,
because I'd have
no,
shot it down
no,
anyway. I ain't gonna lie, I'd have shot it
no,
down because I knew
no,
you was
no.
gonna be talking about
Let's finish
Caleb
with that.
Williams.
Caleb Williams now has elected that he is transferring out of the portal to them Trojans in USC as he continues to
Sorry
add
for him.
to the
Sorry for him.
as he continues to add to the greatness that USC
Greatness.
is going to become again. You know what? You know what? Right now, Bishop, this
Mm.
day, February 2nd, 2022, I would like
Two, 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 two.
at
Guess
at
what? Them two, two. Do you see them
11:04.
4 twos? What is that? There's 4 twos, right? There's
Yes,
4 twos. Don't forget that. But
there
go
you
ahead.
go.
I'm the
This day, I state that there is a grave chance. I will be willing to state that we get into the CFP playoff this year.
Woo! That is a bold statement. Y'all remember,
We get
y'all
we get into the
timestamp this.
CFP.
11:04 a.m. 2222. 2222. There you go. Thank you, Erica. Appreciate you. We love you for that. Yes, you heard him. He said the college football playoffs. Ah, we shall see. What I will say is this: I probably will give. What did Cody say? Cody said, if that's the case, whatever I wanted to do, Andre Dye would have been unstoppable with his facts. Facts.
Mm-hmm. But what you were about to say, I think you were about to say
Um,
a
no,
good
no,
point.
no. Yeah. So what I will say is they probably will come out of the whack Pac-12. That's without question. That you, I will say this: Caleb going over there with Lincoln, Caleb will probably be in the Heisman race without question.
Mhm.
He will probably be in the Heisman race. He was already almost in the Heisman race, and he only played a half a season in Oklahoma.
Yeah, he
So
made his
yeah,
way up
he
after
so
the
he's
Chargers.
already put his name up there on the pedestal any already because of his play at Oklahoma this past season. So with that being said, he probably will be in the Heisman race. However, comma, they probably will come out of the. Do you think the Pac-12 is going to expand and also become a super conference like the SEC? They want to. We do know AP that they've been in talks about it. I
But
think
no,
combining the Big 12,
it's no real big, real good team. I mean, it's probably some.
it ain't a lot.
It's
No,
some good teams that are from
it
other
depends on who.
that
Yeah,
dominate their conference that saying
yeah.
that will probably add. But in doing that, you have to think about it. Is that what is it going to do to the current? Is it going to gobble up other Pac-12 teams that are there and now they're looking at leaving? So,
Right,
um,
right. Because they once you oversaturated with teams like they ain't doing like really ain't gonna do anything. It's
hmm
kind of like pointless.
hmm
It's kind of pointless. But back to yeah, back to the Trojans. I ain't even gonna call them USC. Just call them Trojans. Anyway, back to them. Them yeah, Caleb Williams probably will be a Heisman candidate. They probably will come out of the Pac-12. However, comma that's the furthest it's gonna go. That's it. That's as far as they're gonna get. They're not getting no further than that. They won't be in the CFP. They won't
they're
be
going to
that.
get the CFP.
They
They're
will
going to
not
be
get in.
okay.
How y'all gonna
I'll
be in the
give you this.
CFP?
I'll
Let me
give you
tell you
this.
this. Let me explain this to you.
We'll
How
be
y'all gonna
playing
be
in
in the
New York.
CFP?
We'll be in
No.
the
How y'all
New
gonna
York
be in the
Eve. We'll
CFP
be in the
if
New York Six.
Alabama's there? If Alabama's there, Georgia's there, Oklahoma there. Oh, y'all might get the fourth spot. Y'all might get the fourth spot.
How
Might.
did I know you was gonna put Oklahoma there? There, yeah. It's
We was a game away from
y'all
being there
might.
this time.
Yes, that's when
A
Lincoln Riley. Are
game
you saying?
away.
Are you stating that Brent Venables is going to be a better coach and y'all have better personnel now than what Lincoln Riley and USC has? Is that
It
what you're
ain't,
saying?
it ain't no, what I'm saying is it ain't
Mhm.
about always. We talked about it yesterday. Them stars don't mean the damn
True, true,
thing
true,
if it don't
true,
correlate onto the field.
true, true,
They
true.
don't mean a damn thing. So
So
you
y'all
can
say,
play. But what I will say is because
thank you,
Caleb-
Reed, thank you, Reed, thank you, sir.
no, don't do that, Reed. Don't do that.
So what you're
So
saying
what
is
I'm
you're
saying is
telling me that
what I'm saying
Oklahoma's going
is
to be the
Caleb,
Baylor.
huh?
You're telling me Oklahoma's going to be better than Baylor,
Yes.
bruh?
We
I
beat
don't think
Baylor.
so.
We beat Baylor not this year, but the year before in the Big 12 championship. Baylor just won. We just beat them the year before to go to the.
And they just won this year and they're
They
Big
did.
12
They
champions.
won. Okay, but I saying they beat us. We beat them. It ain't nothing like. Come on now. We will
But
beat Baylor.
y'all had Lincoln Riley at the time. Now y'all got Brent Venables. Like
Which is to say, what you saying? Brent Venables is not a good coach? Are you?
so what I'm saying is Brent Venables has to prove himself as an Oklahoma coach, in which Lincoln
Which
Riley
which which
did.
I'm sure he won't have a problem in doing with the talent in which we have in Oklahoma, bro. You best believe we finna wreck some shop, bro. We still
You think so?
like I said, it's gonna be I don't know where y'all gonna fit in. Yeah, like I said, the Alabama, Georgia, us, Oklahoma, the Sooners, and then I'm looking at probably
I don't think the
Cincinnati
two.
before y'all get it there. Before
So
Cincinnati
why
once
I
again
won't put
before
it
y'all
any.
get there.
Okay, I'll give y'all this. I don't know. I just don't think y'all. I would say that we would definitely be in the top six. I mean, where in the top six, I don't know, but we'd be in the top
Woo!
six.
I give y'all because again, y'all the Pac-12, the WAC-12. Because y'all the WAC-12, I'll give y'all maybe in the top 15, 12
You do.
range. But I mean, no, because what did y'all? Okay, let me ask you this: what did y'all finish at Trey this shit season?
It wasn't favorable at all.
My point exactly, and I'm giving y'all 15, 12 area just because y'all coming out the WAC-12. That's the only I'm giving y'all that, bro. Y'all gonna fight, man. Please, man. Y'all, like I said, y'all probably gonna do some damage because the WAC-12 is just what it is, the
Y'all
WAC-12.
do. You do realize that y'all call have a 12 as well.
But it ain't whack. Ours is the big compared to whack. Big compared to whack is too
And
big in
we're
WAC-12.
not the WAC. We are the Pac-12. There is a WAC-12, or there was a
But
WAC-12.
y'all are the worst of all whack.
it's, it's like I said.
Y'all the worst of all whacks, bro. I'm just saying. The whack 12.
it yet remains to be seen, but I do foresee a situation in where we are in the top 12, top six, and we will be playing
Ooh,
in
you
the
said it right
well
the
that
first time.
well
The
does
top
what
12
top
might be
12,
my man.
but even top 12 still is the same thing because the top 12 are going to be playing in a New Year's Six, the one of the New Year's Six bowls. But
Facts.
I just plan to be playing in
Yeah, I think y'all gonna. But me
the
personally,
Rose
I
Bowl.
know the toilet bowl. I think y'all.
We'll be playing in the Rose. At minimum, we'll be
I
playing at
think
the
y'all
Rose
gonna be
Bowl.
playing in the toilet bowl, bro. I'm just saying, man, with all the toilet paper in there.
We'll be playing in the Rose Bowl where we
Oh my
usually
god,
where
bro.
Big
I'm just
12 where Pac-12 and Big teams play at. We'll be in at the Rose Bowl.
man, I'm just saying, cut it. Pac-12 will be back on the map. No, they will not. On the Pac-12, the WAC-12 will be right where they always at, in the back.
But yes, so ask me, why is it that teams? I mean, because don't get it twisted. Like some of the players that was considered top players at USC have voted and went into the transfer portal as well. Why do you think it was that Caleb Williams and these decommit players and a couple of your top players? Um, you know what? That's very interesting now because now you have that player. I can't remember his name. Malachi, the 5-star quarterback that the decommitted from
Oklahoma,
Oklahoma.
that went to Alabama.
Now I wonder. I mean, because he's a senior now, but you know what I'm saying. But I wonder now with Caleb there, does he still continue to his commitment to USC, or does he decide to go back and open
Because
his
Malachi
recruitment
was
again?
supposed to be before Spencer, but Spencer beat out Malachi. Spencer
So I
beat out
wonder now.
Malachi.
I wonder how that's going to play out. Or
Yeah,
so. I mean, but
I hadn't forgot about it. I'm waiting to hear. I am waiting here. I
is
wonder
he going
if
to be
he
like,
comes
yeah,
back to. I want to come back. Or do I know? Do I come back to Oklahoma? But this kid we getting coming in at quarterback seems to be good out of.
oh yeah, definitely. Talk about the one Gabriel from
Oh
UFC
yeah,
UCF. Yeah,
USL. Yeah,
he was like at UCF.
yeah, yeah.
So
Gabriel.
I don't
That's
know
a
how much of a drop off or improvement it would be, but I think he's an effective quarterback. So uh,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, like he came from a Florida system, so
yeah, yeah,
different as opposed to a down south system.
yeah. Facts.
So of course, you know what I'm saying, that's our that's it for today. Uh this hump day, as Bishop we always say, greatly appreciate y'all
Hump day.
listening in and hearing and interacting, giving your perspective. Always a grand Bishop, any words before we cut out and follow them
Of
out?
course, man. First I want to say thank y'all for tuning in to the show. We appreciate y'all for those that make formation on time. For those that don't, hey man, y'all know y'all got to have to sign that 4856. So don't try to leave early. Don't try to walk out the door because it'll be waiting on you on tomorrow morning. Just and if you're late again, I got another one for you. And if you get 3, you know what happens. But anywho, man, thank y'all again, man, so much. We appreciate the feedback. We appreciate y'all getting up with us in the morning, no matter where you are in the world. We definitely appreciate y'all. We thank y'all, man. And again, we can't do what is it? First formation sports talk, morning sports talk without y'all, man. So we definitely appreciate y'all. Check us out Monday through Friday, 0900 to 1100 hours Central Standard Time. And for you civilians, that's 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
Yes, yes. So we greatly appreciate it. Look forward to have y'all tomorrow. We'll be covering, of course, maybe going over perspectives of these games and stuff like that. But you never know. You know what I'm saying? We go as the winds takes us. So without further ado, we greatly appreciate y'all. Know y'all got to get to y'all evening. So show attention. Fall out.
Roll 5, Side Roll 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated in the building. If you